What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Viall Files Reality Recap Edition. I'm your host, Nick, and Matt and Rachel broke up over the weekend. Sad.
Didn't see that one coming.
Did not
Did they
see
break
that
up
coming.
or was he hacked?
So true.
I mean, that was the strangest breakup post I've ever seen in my life.
Like 3 hours after posting a cute reel of vacation.
And then to use the photo from The Bachelor, which that was like the
When they met.
craziest fucked up season ending known to mankind.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a minute. But I will say, in Matt's defense, public breakups are hard. Not a lot of playbooks for it. But like, I don't know who he was getting advice from. Definitely wasn't his buddy Tyler.
But I feel like
think.
they've just created such a relationship outside of The Bachelor, and I feel like they've tried to like push themselves away from the franchise as much as possible.
And then
like they
to
don't
use that
go to
photo?
any events, they don't talk about it at all. I feel like neither of them hang out with anyone from the show, and so it's so weird for him to use that photo
of them meeting, and then he like preyed on her, kind of thing. Like he from the internet.
Yeah.
You know, it was like
Father God.
You know, when people like love I love all my religious friends out there, but like sometimes people just like presume they want you to pray on them. You know what I'm talking about?
Mhm.
It's just like you come up to them and like, let me just pray for you, on you, above you, all around you. Can you read it, Leia? Like
Yeah. So he posted this, and the caption was, "Father God, give Rachel and I strength to mend our broken hearts. Give us a peace about this decision to end our relationship that transcends worldly understanding. Shower our friends and family with kindness and love to comfort us, and remind us that our joy comes from you, Lord." And then he put a broken heart emoji.
Did we even know that he was this religious? Because I wasn't
No.
aware.
I mean,
This photo's also like, it almost looks like a screenshot.
It didn't come from
Like,
the
not-
archives.
This is giving
plagiarized prayer.
this is giving like theology with Rachel's name put in.
Can you break this down for us, Leia? Like break down the timeline for us.
First, Matt posts a video of him eating pizza, and Rachel's in this video of him eating pizza, and it appears to be from their trip to London.
I think it's important to note that Matt has made a career post-Bachelor out of being a food influencer.
Mhm.
The last time I saw Matt was in New York. Me and my cousin, like, we were like, hey, we're going to go slice a pizza. And there was Matt just like also getting a slice of pizza and like giving his review. And so, yeah, he's full on doing his thing, committed to the bit. And so like this gives like, hey, I have this content that we recorded. Don't want to waste the content, so I'm still going to post it regardless of our relationship status.
So I actually don't think that that's what happened.
Why?
So he posts that video 4
Okay.
days ago. And then also 4 days ago, he posts their breakup
On the same day.
on the same day. And then Rachel's sister kind of gives us a little bit of clarity into what's happening. She left a comment saying they were still together when he was posting all that, just to give some perspective on the timeline of things. So if I'm reading that correctly and understanding what her sister is saying, they were still, and this is just from my understanding of this comment left by Rachel's sister, they were still together when Matt posted the pizza video, and then they broke up between that post and the breakup post.
Okay.
So
And
there
How
could have
many
only
hours
been
was in between?
hours?
3?
I've been seeing the number 3 around.
Well, didn't her sister make a comment like 3 hours?
The comment that her sister left was that they were still together when he was posting all of that, and I believe there were 3 hours in between the 2 posts.
Gotcha. Okay.
I can't see anymore how many hours were between because it just says 4 days ago. But
We assumed because Matt made the post that he was the one who ended the relationship, but we don't know if that's accurate.
so Rachel hasn't said anything. She has liked a few comments, one of which was, "The more I'm thinking about it, the more I think he completely blindsided her with this." And
the breakup
another
or the
comment-
post?
And then it said, "Give her some grace and let her respond in her own time." And Rachel liked that comment. So it's either that Matt blindsided her with something that led Rachel to break up with him, or he blindsided her with the breakup. It could be anything. She hasn't responded
Or
yet.
just the prayer post. Because usually, I mean, like in my experience with like these bachelor relationships or public breakups, like usually the relationship ends long before people find out. There's usually like, hey, we should probably end this, or some, if it's somewhat mutual, hey, we should break up. Even if it's not mutual, there's usually a like, a normal like reaction to like what is a real relationship, and then eventually there's that awkward conversation of like, well, how do we tell people?
Here's the joint statement.
And lots of times people are like, well, I'm not ready to deal with that right now. I need to kind of have my own kind of moment to like process. It sounds like whoever made the decision, Matt just quickly went to like Instagram and said, well, I just gotta let the people know. I guess he just wants to keep it real. I don't know.
I was like, just let people like ruminate on it for a second. Like we didn't need to know. Like talk to Rachael and figure out what y'all are doing. I feel like it's kind of weird to like put something that's so definite where I'm like, y'all been together for so long. Like we, the public, didn't need to know that. And now I just read your caption and prayed for Rachael.
Usually you want to tell people because it's like if you're broken up and you want to live your life, you don't want to like start like rumors about, well, why aren't they together? Or, God forbid you get seen with someone from the opposite sex, and people are speculating about cheating and things like that. So, but the fact that Matt seemingly rushed to the internet.
In a different country together?
They were just in Japan.
And then London.
So do we even know if they're back in the US?
Who knows?
They could be together now, traveling,
I mean,
broken up.
Messy.
None of us know the answer to that, but I do know that the London trip, I think, happened a while ago. So that's why people were confused because they were spotted in Japan together within the last week or two.
Well,
I think what's even more interesting is that the day before he posted the breakup, he congratulated Lindsay Arnold on her boob job.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
Which
That
is
was-
so interesting because I feel like we've never seen them have any sort of like, we know they were partners when he was on Dancing with the Stars,
Did
but
Lindsay
we've never
Post about it or something?
Well, she's been kind of doing a like, come with me as I get this boob job. And it's been
Okay.
very like, she's been very open with
Sure.
everyone. But I just feel like they haven't shared any sort of like relationship on social media, or maybe I just haven't been following along, but it's like,
I'll be honest. Even if they shared a relationship, she's married, like.
I think it was more
there's-
so the comment. The comment was LMAOO, congrats with
two balloons.
2 balloons, which the 2 balloons emoji choice was interesting. Could have put, I feel like equally as worse, watermelons, milk jugs,
Milk jugs.
Baby
L-
bottles.
baby bottles.
LMAO is also like a no congrats.
I
proud
think
of
it's
you.
sometimes, us men should just not.
Stay out of the comments.
You
Yeah.
don't.
I feel like that wasn't a place for him.
There's not like a.
LMAO is just
like PETA was my dancing partner. We remain friends. I try to wish her well. But especially now that I'm in a relationship, like if I'm in a relationship and my women friends are in relationships, there's things I just opt out of. Like if they post a thirst trap, I opt out.
Scrolling.
I don't I'm not there. I don't need to support everything they're doing.
Right.
And that post your thirst trap, but talk about your breast augmentation. I'm just not. I don't
Seen myself out of this conversation.
if I'm Lindsay Arnold's husband, I'm like, what the
or
fuck?
Rachel Kirkconnell. Like,
Well, they're broken up, so.
Yeah.
they were together when he did this, supposedly. I mean, it was before
Do you
the
think
thing,
that
but
caused
it's
the
like,
breakup? Ooh.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I'd
You heard
definitely
it
be
here
like, that was
first.
unnecessary.
It's just
Maybe a
weird.
text.
Yeah.
You could have texted her and been like, hey.
Even
Hey,
then?
mama,
No.
But that
congrats.
at least is like, why do it publicly?
I just feel like there's just some things where I'm like, you could keep it simple with the congrats. If
Not even that.
you're a part of the conversation, fine. But I'm just saying, I don't know their relationship. But for ultimate violence purposes, that if I ever saw my boyfriend commenting that on a girlfriend's breast augmentation post, the way he would be skinned alive.
It's the 2
yeah.
O's and the LMAO and the balloons that like.
It's giving fuckboy.
There's boundaries.
Yeah.
You have a
Natalie, you solved it. He was hacked.
He was hacked.
It's the only
He
explanation
had
for
to have
all of
been hacked.
this.
This is crazy behavior for someone who's like seemingly just been like pretty
Unproblematic.
chill.
Yeah, and chill.
But it's been 4 days and he hasn't said anything.
Maybe
Exactly.
He's still
The
hacked.
He
the
got
hacker
access.
is like, I need to relax. That was a lot.
He's still
for
locked
one.
out.
Yeah.
Could you imagine though, if that is the case, and it's like in a couple of days, it's like all of that wasn't real, but wasn't
Yeah.
But Rachel was
No, he's
commenting.
def-
She was
he's definitely-
liking
he
it.
wa-
Yeah, Rachel's
he,
been
wa-
involved.
he wasn't
His
hacked.
sister, her sister.
This also puts, assuming that they remain broken up, a bow on. I think people forget how Matt and Rachel got together, their relationship, Matt's season of The Bachelor being the first Black Bachelor. We all know what happened with Chris Harrison no longer being the host, but Rachel kind of obviously made the mistake that she made, and we're not gonna get into it. But I thought that AFR as a response to, what was going on with George Floyd, tensions being what they were, like was the most disgusting display of performative like social justice that I think I've ever seen. And like the way that Rachael was like crucified on live TV so that the franchise and the people dealing with what was going on could feel better about themselves. And then fans of Bachelor Nation at a time where everyone was like posting their black squares and things like that and, being performative allies. Like I thought it was really sad how Rachael was treated. And again, that's not to say that she didn't make the mistake that she made, but the response to what happened, and I've had conversations with Matt since then. I mean, I'll never forget that night. And I thought it was really gross behavior on the part of a lot of people during that time. But anyways, I wish Rachael and Matt the best. I hope that they move on, and maybe Matt needs a crash course on internet etiquette. But, weird. Anyways, speaking of weird, Justin Baldoni's continuing to sue everybody. He filed a lawsuit, I think over the weekend, another one after he filed a lawsuit against the New York Times. I mean, man, this guy, I'm more just like kind of surprised by the internet in general and the amount of people who are just trying so hard not to believe Blake Lively in this situation. Maybe it shouldn't be surprising to me, but it is.
The amount of people I have commenting on my posts being like hashtag Team Justin, I'm like, I know these are those bots.
Yeah.
Bot behavior.
Well, yeah, let's not forget that what I do think a lot of people are forgetting, just to kind of recap this whole drama. In late December, Blake came out with her complaint against Justin, right? And I think a lot of people are forgetting that the focus of that complaint wasn't the sexual harassment, but it was the retaliation of the sexual harassment and the kind of the complaints that were laid out that Blake and Ryan or whatever, that meeting that they had that said, here are all the things we'd like you to stop doing for us to feel safe and comfortable to continue filming this movie and finish our work so we could all just kind of go home and never talk to each other again, which included like the request that like Justin and his team would not retaliate. And again, the focus of that complaint was the retaliation part, which like included like tons of text messages and emails of like what is hard evidence of Justin's and his team's intentions to destroy the credibility of Blake. All those messages about, hey, this is the thing we need to do, a la like the same way they would like try to take down Hailey Bieber. The statement of work that was an email that clearly laid out from Justin's crisis PR team, once again, the crisis PR team that Johnny Depp's team hired to eviscerate Amber Heard's credibility. That, and it point by point, like that statement of work to kind of laid out like everything they plan on doing in terms of retaliating against Blake. That also include I think the $25,000 a month fee, which again is an outrageous fee for any type of PR, right? So it exceeds the normal amount that anyone would hire for a normal publicist. And I think a lot of people are just forgetting that. Another thing people seem to be overlooking is the lawsuit from Stephanie Jones against Justin Baldoni. Stephanie Jones being Justin Baldoni's former publicist. And in that complaint included messages of Justin's new PR team, his crisis PR team, between Melissa Nathan and Jennifer Abel. Those two women talking to each other, acknowledging Justin's behavior and acknowledging his creepy behavior. And in their words, it's just all so much. Like those emails to me are like very concrete. I don't know how they're taken out of context is what I'm saying. I read Justin's lawsuit over the weekend. And what is shocking to me is how many things in that lawsuit that they admit to. They're not even denying many of the claims. It's basically Justin's lawyer basically wrote this long story that, to summarize, is basically saying, yeah, we did this and we did that, but basically Blake is hysterical and crazy and high maintenance, and they're not even denying it.
It's like Justin's saying, Ryan Reynolds called me a sexual predator. Like, why? What the heck? And it's like, well, why is he calling you a sexual predator? Like, maybe we should focus on that instead of like feeling bad that he said that about you.
It's like the whole complaint is Justin's lawyer painting Justin as a victim to Blake's alleged behavior. Like, for example, he admits to reaching out to Blake's trainer to ask about her weight. Now, he claims that it had something to do with his back problems. There's a debate whether there was a scene that did or didn't exist. And I'm like, who gives a shit about his, to me, I don't care about whether he had back problems or not, or with whether this scene existed. Like, if you actually think that it's appropriate for your coworker to reach out to your personal trainer and ask about your weight, then I can't help you. And if you want to convince yourself that that's normal behavior, but and then like the birthing video, they admit to that. Again, they admit to like all these random behaviors, and they're just trying to spin it. I mean, it's gaslighting. For all the people over the years who wrongly use the word gaslighting just because when two people are in a fight and you disagree with them, this is literal gaslighting. Like, again, Justin's whole persona. We actually bring up the TED Talk. I've talked about this TED Talk multiple times over the past couple episodes. I think some of you need to hear some of these outtakes from Justin's TED Talk.
I've been pretending to be a man that I'm not my entire life.
See, that I believe.
I've been pretending to be strong when I felt weak, confident when I felt insecure, and tough when really I was hurting. I think for the most part, I've just been kind of putting on a show.
Also believe that.
Because I don't just want to be a good man. I want to be a good human. And I believe the only way that can happen is if men learn to not only embrace the qualities that we were told are feminine in ourselves, but to be willing to stand up, to champion and learn from the women who embody them.
Again, this is a guy who talks about standing up and championing the women around him. The same guy who had the opportunity to hire the director of this movie. Again, keep in mind, Justin is the co-founder of Wayfair that bought the rights to this movie. And so as the production company that ran this movie, they hired the director. And then when Justin had the opportunity to hire the director, he hired himself. And then he's given interviews since then talking about some of the more sensitive scenes in this movie that, speak to the domestic violence. And in those interviews, he talks about he relied on the women of this movie to make sure that they were getting the proper feedback. Well, again, like, this is not a guy who's championing women. This is a guy who's using women. Instead of just like hiring a woman and giving her the director credit that she could deserve or the paycheck that she could deserve and bring to life the many talented women in Hollywood who aren't getting opportunities, he could have done that. And he chose not to. But again, so if this person was real, this person who's giving this TED Talk meant what they said, that person would have hired a woman to direct this movie.
Now, I've learned over time that if I want to practice vulnerability, then I need to build myself a system of accountability. So I've been really blessed as an actor. I've built a really wonderful fan base, really, really sweet and engaged. And so I decided to use my social platform as kind of this Trojan horse, wherein I could create a daily practice of authenticity and vulnerability.
It's so interesting that he uses the word Trojan horse, because a Trojan horse is like,
You're
fake
sneaking.
out.
Yeah, it's a fake.
it's a fake.
Yeah.
You're implying that it's disingenuous, and it's a way to kind of insert yourself into a community where people should otherwise think that you're the enemy, which I thought was an interesting choice of words. Maybe a Freudian slip. I don't know. This next part is wild.
Are you brave enough to be vulnerable? To reach out to another man when you need help? To dive headfirst into your shame? Are you strong enough to be sensitive? To cry whether you are hurting or you're happy, even if it makes you look weak? Are you confident enough to listen to the women in your life? To hear their ideas and their solutions, to hold their anguish and actually believe them, even if what they're saying is against you?
Oh my God.
And will you be man enough to stand up to other men when you hear locker room talk? When you hear stories of sexual harassment, when you hear your boys talking about grabbing ass or getting her drunk, will you actually stand up and do something so that one day we don't have to live in a world where a woman has to risk everything and come forward to say the words, "Me too"?
I mean, like the self-own and the way this man is telling on himself. Like, again, people, if you're listening to this, ask yourself, like, if this man really bought into this, would he be handling this the way he is? The way he is, again, the evidence about his retaliation is pretty laid out pretty clearly. And what's crazy about Justin's lawsuit, it's just tons of text messages of just trying to paint Blake in a bad light. It's just like debating whether there's messages about, bringing Taylor Swift in, like talking about, like as if he were bullied into using parts of, their song, whatever. Like Blake always had a producer credit in this movie. It's incredibly common for people with a producer credit or like big name actors to have input, to like share their ideas. And Justin's whole narrative is centered around that Blake shouldn't have been sharing ideas, or
But
she was too high maintenance.
He also said in a text that we have read in one of these complaints where he was like, always feel free to let me know on stuff. And she was like, I just wasn't sure if like that's what you wanted me to do. He's like, no, you are always welcome to share your ideas.
Yeah. So like, which one is
in
it?
text.
Like, is she allowed to share ideas or not share ideas? Again, like one thing that people aren't talking about that I'm actually shocked about, again, Justin Wayfair bought the rights to this movie. It's my understanding that they also financed a lot of this movie. I'm not familiar with the details of the contract, like point by point, but I am pretty sure because they financed it, Justin and Wayfair, given the success of the movie, made a ton of money from the success of this movie. They got a lot of back end profits. So assuming that's true, again, Justin's whole narrative is that Blake and Ryan hijacked this movie. And then my question is, to what end? Like, what was their motive? You know what I'm saying? Like, so you're telling me that they decided to make up a story about Justin's behavior, get her entire cast to buy into this alleged lie. Her entire team, her personal trainer, all had to join in on this conspiracy theory so that Blake could have input. And then regardless of whatever input that she had, Justin would still maintain his director credit. Justin and Wayfair would still get all the profits. Like Blake didn't make any more money from the success of this movie. I'm assuming she got her paycheck. So you mean to tell me that Blake and Ryan came up with this master plan, and regardless of what version they used, whether it was Blake or Justin's, like if it was going to be successful, Justin and Wayfair were going to benefit. So instead of believing that story, I think people need to acknowledge that Blake decided to fight this fight after it would have gone away. I'm assuming that if it weren't for the retaliation, that Blake would have just, again, those list of things that they wanted to fight just to get back into filming to feel safe and comfortable, probably would have let it go. But it was the whole retaliation part of Justin investing a ton of money to try to destroy her credibility and brand by hiring these people who are known to take down people online, was why she is in fact fighting back. And she had the most to lose and nothing to gain other than trying to get back like her credibility from a guy who spent money trying to destroy it. And I mean, shit, Nally and I have been on flights, past couple weeks. Now with all this drama going on, everyone's watching this movie. It's gotten more popular and it's going to only make more money. And that means Justin and Wayfair are only going to make more money from it. And they must have known that. So you're telling me their big master plan was to just have more input so that they can make Justin more money? I don't think so. I think they did that despite knowing that would be a sad fallout to them fighting this fight and giving it more attention than it already had. It's like, again, like you just got to ask yourself these very basic questions. And instead of like deciding that you don't like Blake Lively because, again, she reminds you of someone you went to high school with, you actually just read the complaints. And like Justin, again, has a ton of text messages, and you could read Justin's complaint and you could decide that Blake Lively is someone that you don't fuck with or someone that you don't like. It does not answer the questions about Justin's behavior and specifically the retaliation, which is still going on. It's so obvious about the bots. Like, it's still obvious that the people he was paying back in August sure seem like he's still paying them, and they're still doing
He
the
definitely
exact
hasn't
same
fired
things.
him, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Why fire him now? You still need him.
Because so much of what
He's the
they
boss now more than
talked about
ever,
was about
truly.
not flying under the radar, not getting caught, being covert about how it comes across. And honestly, I don't even think they use bots. I think they're far more sophisticated. That's why it costs $25,000 a month to keep these people on their payroll.
What's also crazy is that he went to leave LA and
Pull the Tom Sandoval.
called the paparazzi to make sure they shot him. I mean, like,
Play that. Do we have that?
He reminds me of Frank Booth from the David Lynch movie Blue Velvet. And the girls that'll get it will get it. You ever seen Blue Velvet, the David Lynch movie?
No.
No. You wouldn't like it. But he reminds me of Frank Booth.
I mean, it's so obvious he called the paparazzi because it's this place in LAX after you walk up the gates. And as soon as Justin comes up the escalator, the TMZ reporter immediately goes to him. There's no like pause. There's no like, oh my God, it's Justin Baldoni. It was like they were doing a scene. you know.
Wait, listen.
How are you doing?
We're grateful to be with the family, man.
Grateful? All right. Look, I know it's a tough time for you. How do you get through this?
Oh, man. We have amazing friends and family.
Set you a screen if you need one.
And faith.
Faith?
Yeah. But thank
All
you
right.
so much, man. Have a great day.
You got it.
What's also crazy about that is like LAX is huge. It's massive. And the amount of celebrities that we've seen there, I've never once seen a paparazzi.
We're
Like,
still using TMZ.
literally. Also, the fact that he's talking to TMZ, the amount of celebrities who just like they're like, I'm not like, come on, I'm with my family. I'm dealing with this big thing. I'm just trying to get on an airplane. Like, I'm not about to talk. And the fact that he's like, hey, man, how are you? Yeah, man, I'm with my
Knows
family.
the smile. He's not.
It
He
was
doesn't look
such
caught
a
off guard.
performance.
Yes.
It's like,
when TMZ approaches you, it's very intrusive, and you kind of like look around and you feel kind of uncomfortable.
I mean, they come up with a huge camera and they're like, hey, what's going on? Talk about this, talk about that. And it's like, oh my God, I just got to get out of here. But he
it's
loves
so
it.
obvious that he and his team called TMZ. And again, his lawsuit doesn't even seem to be, I'm not a lawyer, for the courts, but it seems to be for us, the audience, and try to win people in the court of public opinion.
I actually do have a comment on that because I did want to just like read an opening statement from his new lawsuit versus her lawsuit, where I read the 179 pages and it was hard because it's like, I feel like I'm reading a novel. Like your lawyer is an author because it's really hard to discern what's fact and what's not. So like an opening statement on her lawsuit. On January 4th, 2024, prior to resuming filming of It Ends With Us, following guild strikes, an all-hands meeting was convened to address the hostile work environment that has nearly derailed the production of the film. His first opening statement: the following is not a story plaintiffs ever wished to tell. Unfortunately, defendant Blake Lively has unequivocally left them with no choice, not only to set the record straight in response to Lively's accusations, but to also put the spotlight on the parts of Hollywood that they have dedicated their careers to being the antithesis of. That task was always going to be an uphill battle.
Jesus.
They never imagined they would have to encounter it to this degree. And I was like, this is for Colleen Hoover readers.
Yeah.
That is a creative writing piece. That is not jargon.
The figurative language in this lawsuit, where I'm like, though very eloquent.
Yeah.
And
That's the AP, that is like an AP lit test.
Thank you. That's why I was like, show me the facts. Like,
go back to the TED Talk. There's a part that Justin keeps telling on himself.
I love how there's like two men in this.
But they made sure to
This
get
is
him in the
serious
shot.
stuff.
Serious stuff.
I've had to take a real honest look at the ways that I've unconsciously been hurting the women in my life.
What a Freudian slip.
And it's ugly. My wife told me that I had been acting in a certain way that hurt her and not correcting it. Basically, sometimes when she would go to speak at home or in public, I would just cut her off mid-sentence and finish her thought for her. It's awful. The worst part was that I was completely unaware when I was doing it. It was unconscious.
Like, what else is he unconsciously doing? You know, like, this is a man, you know, like, seemingly admitting to this behavior that he acts in ways towards women that he doesn't even realize he's doing it, and it's unconscious. But now he's allegedly done the work that he's seemingly incapable of being this guy who has, in his own words, hurt women in his life.
But we also know that he admitted to, in a text that we read from Justin Baldoni, of like having this plan to like go to the class or go to the session where he could like blame all of this on his ADD or ADHD or neurodivergency.
It's a very calculated person. And back to the allegation that Ryan allegedly called Justin a sexual predator. If your partner was working with someone who made their whole platform about making an environment safe for women and being an ally to women and understanding women's plight, and started calling their trainer to ask about her weight, postpartum, by the way. And again, as someone who knows what it's like to be married to someone who just had a child, the vulnerability that all women feel about a lot of things, especially their body postpartum, and then here's Justin acting this way and then trying to paint himself as the victim, is wild behavior. And the amount of people who are just trying so hard to not believe Blake because they decided
has back problems
because they don't like her.
His back hurts, and his chiropractor said he has to make sure the weight.
If you have back problems that like make it at risk, then write out the scene.
Such a loser.
Like, take the scene out. Like, what? Like, if you shouldn't be picking up people, then don't pick up anyone. And regardless of how much Blake Lively weighs or doesn't weigh, like, you don't have the right to go behind her back and ask about her weight.
I also do think that there is something to be concerned about in the sense to where you could admit that you've made mistakes in the past, but you're claiming as if being a healed person means that like you're incapable of making mistakes further.
Yeah, and that's the whole gaslight part about it. It's like, imagine what it would be like to work in this environment with this person who says, no, I'm the good guy. I'm the good guy. I'm safe. I understand. And then constantly does things like hire his friend. Regardless, I know there's debate whether this friend that Justin hired was an actor or not actor. Justin claims he was. I know Blake didn't. But once again, if you're a man who understands the plight of women and wants to make them feel comfortable, wouldn't you hire a woman to play that doctor? You know, like, why is he hiring his male buddy? Again, there's this example after example how Justin is not the ally he claims to be. He's not the feminist he claims to be, even though he made his whole plan. And also, if you really are an ally, you don't have to yell it. You don't have to scream it. You don't have to talk about it all the time. You just do it.
You just do.
You just do it when it comes up, when the opportunity presents itself. You support the people you love.
I mean, it's the classic saying, actions speak louder than words. And clearly, like, his actions are not.
Well, and also you can just do without having to broadcast it. Like, if you are an ally, if you are a good person, if you are somebody that's dedicated to helping other people, you don't have to talk about it every single time.
And again, the amount of people online talking about this alleged Deadpool scene and acting as if like Ryan Reynolds was inappropriate for cracking some jokes. I mean, I don't know what it would be like to be in Blake and Ryan's position, right? Like, what they tried to do is try to finish the job. They tried to. Again, it wasn't like, oh, Justin started making all these people feel uncomfortable and she threw a big fit about it. No, she tried to squash it, tried to get things back on track so everyone can go back to work and just hope that they wouldn't retaliate. That was their ultimate goal. And then so they tried to, you know, I guess, I don't know, deal with it. I mean, for all the people who are claiming that Ryan allegedly was mocking Justin Baldoni, if that's true, again, like, how does that make Blake's accusations less credible? Like, I would do that and more if I were in Ryan's position. I would absolutely mock the guy. I would want to fight back any way I could. You know, they're probably limited in ways they can fight back. I would imagine they'd probably been talking to the lawyers and things like that, you know, but the amount of focus the internet is giving this as opposed to, again, Stephanie Jones's complaint and all the shocking text messages that are in that, and the shocking text messages that like very clearly lay out that Justin hired this team and very much had the intention of trying to make Blake Lively look bad online. It's just like crazy.
I saw this TikToker, Sachi, who said, it feels like he's acting. It's a dangerous game that a lot of men will go into where they're kind of telling on themselves for overdoing it.
Yeah.
In regards to him.
I don't know. For all the Team Justin people out there, I don't know. You're kind of telling on yourself. It's not that hard. And again, go look at his engagement video. This is a man who spent 30 minutes acting and performing skits that had nothing to do with his relationship and made the woman that he was about to propose to sit there and just watch him act. It was a Justin Baldoni performance about Justin Baldoni, featuring Justin Baldoni, starring Justin Baldoni, directed by Justin Baldoni. And like, honestly, I don't even know his wife's name. For a man who wants to elevate women and hold up women and showcase women, boy, his wife sure lives in the shadows.
Also, that photo of them, like, supposedly in the basement during the, like, It Ends With Us, they sure looked fucking happy to be in the basement. They're all like, woo!
Yeah.
Like,
and they could have left.
So happy. They could have, like, if you're, like, shunned and sent to the basement, wouldn't you be like...
But again, if maybe you were shunned because you made Blake and her entire team feel really uncomfortable. Her entire team, like Jenny Slate and Landon Skinnar, who all, and her hairdresser,
Colleen Hoover herself,
her assistant, Colleen Hoover, all come and like backed up Blake's story, but people want to still like find reasons not to believe her. It is shocking to me. And also Brandon, I didn't realize he was the same actor in 1923. He's an absolute badass in that.
He's in a lot of stuff. Yeah.
He's really great. I didn't realize that.
Also,
was him.
like, I know a lot of people have been in my stuff being like, I hope you give the same amount of like attention to Justin's lawsuit. And it's like, we read it and then we're like, this is bullshit. And we give our opinion on this show, and our opinion is we're Team Blake. So
But yeah, it's a lot of text messages between Justin and Blake, and it's just painting Justin as a victim. It's text messages between Justin and his team, being annoyed with Blake, being frustrated with Blake. And again, they're trying to paint Blake as the high maintenance, overbearing, demanding mean girl that they're claiming her to be. A lot of the lawsuit is centered around this, like Blake making the wardrobe come to her. Again, this is someone who just gave birth to her 4th child. Like, God forbid that she wanted the wardrobe to come to her to make her life a little bit easier so that maybe she could spend more time with her kids. And again, I would think that the guy giving that TED Talk would be more than happy to accommodate that request as opposed to painting her in the light that he's so badly trying to paint her.
Also, it's like Blake could be everything people say about her, and that still does not mean that she should be harassed. Like,
Exactly.
you can
Don't like Blake.
Yeah, you can hate Blake and think she's a shitty person and think she sucks and think she's like all of these things and whatever, and that still does not mean that
It doesn't negate that.
Yeah, it
That he
does not
claims,
negate
exactly.
like you can be a shitty person and still like not deserve to have things happen to you.
Yeah, and the amount of
It's
people
just
out there
crazy.
deciding that Blake is a mean
Yeah,
girl. They
she's
don't
not
like
a perfect
her,
victim.
or she's not, she's not a girl's girl. That they decided that, well, they're almost like, well, she kind of deserved it.
Exactly.
Yeah, nobody deserves it.
It's fucking crazy.
Misogyny.
It's misogyny. Yeah, it's just stupid.
Anyways, I don't know. As always, as I said since August, ask yourself smart questions, the right questions, and like just take Blake out of it. Take the person out of it and just read the claims. And I don't know how you can take some of that stuff out of context. Watch Justin's videos and ask yourself, is this guy sincere? Is he real? Or is he just telling it himself? Or is it just an act to cover up a guy who just obviously has been
How
problematic?
did TMZ know that he was taking that 5:30 Delta flight to wherever the fuck he's going?
Also, that looks like, I could be wrong, but judging by how LAX looks, that looks like post security.
No,
LAX.
it's
not.
It's right up the escalators.
It's right before you
He's-
go into TSA.
He was
Yeah.
flying Delta.
Oh,
Yeah, he was flying Delta.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know.
Okay.
But it's like how
I'm dumb.
how did that TMZ guy know that?
No,
Why wouldn't he think he's flying American?
Watch the video. Again, there's no pause, there's no reaction. The camera was ready because again, when TMZ finds you, they like the guy's just like standing there. These TMZ people just hang around these areas, and when they find you, then they'll roll the camera. This camera was rolling before Justin came up the escalator. Does this guy is he a psychic? All right, well, it's a new year and it's time to get that closet freshened up, and you can do that with the great people at Quince. Quince, we've talked about them over and over and over because we love everything they do. They have some great items. If you are tired of going to the same stores and seeing the same fast fashion everywhere you go, you got to check out Quince because they truly have a great quality selection.
It's so easy to just have your staple wardrobe pieces from Quince because everything is priced 50 to 80% less than similar brands, and they only work with ethical factories, which I feel like everyone should care about.
Quince's iconic Mongolian cashmere sweater is an absolute must in my closet, and it should be one in yours as well. Their super soft fleece sweatpants are a major upgrade for lounging, and their wind-resistant, responsible down jacket are perfect for keeping you warm this winter. Plus, the performance tees and tech shorts are perfect for any movement, especially their tees. I know for the guys out there, it's really hard to find great quality t-shirts that keep their form, and the ones at Quince certainly do that. Upgrade your closet this year without the upgraded price tag. Go to quince.com/VIALL for 365-day returns plus free shipping on your order. That's Quince, QUINCE.com/VIALL to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/VIALL. All you people who love to decorate their house, have you heard of 3-day blinds? Well, we all know that blinds, they can be pricey and hard to find the good ones out there. Well, that's where 3-day blinds comes in. 3-day blinds specializes in window treatments, blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery installations.
If you care about privacy and cost efficiency by keeping your AC not blowing constantly and having those curtains closed, you got to check out 3-Day Blinds.
That's right. There's a better way to build blinds, shade, shutters, and drapery. 3-Day Blinds are the leading manufacturers of high-quality custom window treatments in the U.S. They have professionally trained design consultants with an average of 10-plus years of experience, so you're making sure that the blinds, shades, and shutters in your house look the way you want them to.
It's also just so hard to like measure. It's too much to measure the width, the length. You're like, I don't know. Should I put these up to the ceiling? Should I put them right above the window? Like what's going to look the chicest and make my room expand the most? And everyone at 3-Day Blinds are just professionals and they know what they're doing.
We all know how fun redecorating can be, and blinds can really make your room come together. So let the good people at 3-Day Blinds help you upgrade your living space today at a price that will blow your mind. Right now, get quality window treatments that fit your budget with 3-Day Blinds. Head to 3dayblinds.com/VIALL for their buy one, get one 50% off deal on custom blinds, shades, shutters, and drapery. For a free, no charge, no obligation consultation, just head to 3dayblinds.com/VIALL. Again, one last time. That's buy one, get one 50% off when you head to 3dayblinds.com/VIALL.
TikTok is back.
TikTok. Well, it was gone for 8 hours.
I mean, the crying that I saw on social media.
No,
was-
the confessions on TikTok.
Yes.
All of these creators started outing themselves like within 24 hours of the app
Say
closing
more.
down. Yeah, so there was this trending sound that they were using, and some like you've got fitness creators saying that they never did the workouts that they posted. You've got food creators,
Huh?
creators being like there's one guy that like bakes things in his car or something because he lives in Arizona, and it's like he's like not all of the baking like the success of the baking videos turned out. So it's like all of these people are starting to come forward, outing themselves, thinking that the app is going to be completely gone, forgetting the fact.
Meredith Doxbury, is that her last name? Doxbury? Who like went viral for doing so much makeup, and she was like rapping and it was so cool. She was like, I wiped off half of those layers.
Like everything into him, like I thought about trying it. I didn't do it because it was like, what a waste of makeup. But like things that people actually went home after watching these people's videos and did come to find out, all fake, all for
Why
content
were they
creation.
admitting it?
Because they were like, it's going away. Let me just like give my last confession of like,
That's
this
awesome.
is what.
But there's other platforms out there that
Well, that's the problem.
awesome.
And that's the like kind of the best part of it all is it kind of like outed a lot of content creators for being fake, but it's like they forgot the fact that it's like if TikTok is gone, you're going to have to go to a different platform and now nobody trusts you.
I mean, after talking to Emily Baker, I'm
Darwinism.
a little sad. I mean, I don't use it as a consumer. We use it, obviously. We post our videos on it. I thankfully have a team who posts that for me. But like, I don't remember the last time I was scrolling because I just want to protect my mental health. But
I mean, it is also very sad because I do know it was one of the most like women dominated industries. I know a lot of women who,
oh, TikTok.
oh yeah,
Oh,
I mean, providing for their family, like the amount of money that these women were able to make off of this app. I mean,
Mom Talk.
Oh my God, Mom Talk.
Hello.
But like,
Will
there's
Mom Talk survive?
No.
It did.
I guess
yeah,
it did.
I mean,
Well,
so like
it's,
that
it's
part.
back now. I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, I think it's very sad that like all of these people who were making money and providing for their families lost that in seconds. Obviously now it is back, so it was a little like, meh, meh. But I just wish that people would put this amount of energy into like
Things
child
that matter.
trafficking. You know, like come on, let's
High-speed railway systems.
like world hunger. It's like we could do something if we all just cared about this equally as much as we cared about TikTok.
I would like a high-speed rail system.
Right?
That would be
Something.
nice.
Right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so it's back. So
It's back. And you know who's back on it? Spencer Pratt. It continues to promote his wife, Heidi Montag, who is now a pop superstar.
Mhm.
And following in their footsteps, Leighton Meester's fans are trying to get her song, Somebody to Love, and they're buying her song. The big question is Adam Brody going to step up in the way that Spencer Pratt has? Because I don't think this has the longevity that it's had with Heidi, if not for Spencer. He's been his wife's best PR manager, agent, fan, and it's absolutely worked in the best possible way. So I would love to see Adam Brody step up for his wife.
I think this is more of like a fans thing and less of Leighton and Adam want her to be the number one super pop star.
Oh, because she doesn't want to be?
I haven't talked to her.
Okay.
Yeah, so I don't know, but I just think this is more of like clearly this was Heidi and Spencer. It was led by Spencer. It was
Sure.
Spencer, and I think this is more so fans being like, well, hey, Leighton Meester also has a couple songs out. We should also try to get her up there as well.
Spencer and Heidi keep saying they're coming on, so hopefully they're coming on Wednesday. We'll see. You know, she's very busy being a new pop superstar, so we will hopefully have them on Wednesday.
An update on Leighton. I guess her song is in the pop charts again. And big supporter Flavor Flav posted
Let's
to hype
go.
up his
Was also a supporter of Heidi's
Heidi, yeah.
song, so maybe Flavor Flav is really the
And Red Lobster.
musical curator. He also
Yes.
saved Red Lobster.
You want to
so-
talk about an ally?
talk about selfless.
Flavor Flav.
right?
He really is like taking care of the common man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
also so hip to what's going on the internet.
He is.
Yeah. Oh my God.
He's
When
checked
he
in.
met Paul Simon, that was a very beautiful day for me. It was really cute. Anyway.
I'm not familiar with that day. Anyways,
A recent study reveals that people who walk faster may be less happy in life.
Yeah.
So,
I
Well,
walk real
I'm-
fast.
I walk so slow.
This is
I'm
old
so
news.
happy.
Nick calls me Pokey all the time.
When I was little, my family used to call me Sid the Sloth because I would.
You look pokey.
What?
I don't
Yeah.
even know what that's
I'm
referring
Pokey
to.
too, so it's okay.
Saying you look
Pokey?
slow, like you walk slow.
You just look like you're not in a rush.
I'm not. Never in my life have I been in a rush. If
Pokey?
I'm
Is
late,
that a
I'm late.
Midwest thing?
Yeah, 100%. Because
You
I have
don't-
never heard that.
Never
It's
heard
a-
that
I
in my
think it's
entire
in the
life.
South too.
The hokey pokey.
I've heard it in
Pokey.
the South,
You're
yeah.
being pokey?
No.
Being
Yeah,
pokey.
that's in the South too.
Huh.
I
Yeah,
don't
just like
know.
slow.
Just slow.
Yeah.
Like if we're
I
in an
am.
airport and our thing, like we're gonna like they're gonna shut the doors on us. Nick is there, and I'm
And I was
coming.
like, just go. Make him wait for me.
And
I
what
got
pisses
short
me off
little
even more
legs.
is like the constant look back to see just like
She
how
hates to look
far.
back.
I'm like, don't look
Yeah.
at me. I'm coming.
Wait, Nick, do you ever do like the backwards tour guide walk? Because you're
That's-
walking so fast
Oh
that
my
you have to like
God.
talk
Oh.
to like someone, but also walk your normal speed.
He did that to me while we were roller skating.
I was trying to help you roller
I
skate.
know. And it was not, I was just like, oh, you're going backwards. And I'm literally grasping the wall for my life.
Sorry.
He's going backwards
It was
on one
beautiful.
foot.
On one foot. I was just like,
I was mansplaining roller skating.
Yeah.
Y'all know that Nick
I'm
has
holding
not.
hands.
Y'all know that Nick has not had sugar, coffee, or weed at all in 2
Well,
weeks,
I had one
3
coffee.
weeks. Oh, yeah.
I had one
that's right.
coffee. But no sugar. I'm not even Natalie ordered an Arnold Palmer, my favorite drink ever, and I just watched her drink it.
You ordered an unsweetened tea though.
Emphasis on unsweetened.
Good for
Accountability.
you.
It's good to have.
No, but I am so proud of him because for someone who like dabbled in extracurricular activities for so long and then to just like cut cold turkey and honestly hasn't been like, oh, I wish I haven't heard a peep out of him. It's like he hasn't even thought about it. I did see him yesterday open up what used to be a drawer of extracurricular activities.
was
and
a
just kind of
moment-
was like looking.
Longing.
No,
Yeah.
no, you missed the part where I saw some residue on the bottom of the tray on 2 trays, and I collected the residue to see if it could work. And then I was like, "This no," and I threw it
I wasn't
away.
This is
around for
sad.
that
I
moment.
threw
You
it
must
away.
have done that in your
I could have
own
used it, and it was
personal
like it
time.
was mostly extracurricular activities, and then maybe like
a paperclip.
paper clip, some
Dust.
dust, pencil fibers. Who knows? It was a smorgasbord of
yeah.
a junk drawer. And I
It
was
would
like,
it would make you feel something.
it would, yeah.
Yeah.
I opted to throw it away, and I'm
I was
You
going to
know.
say, are all of these like fast and choices so that you can post thirst traps like Dylan Efron?
the body's coming back. I haven't really been able to work out much lately because like air quality not good, and I haven't been able to do that. But yeah, I look in the mirror and I see me,
I see you.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Eventually, I might sneak in a thirst trap if I really get the body back and just be like, oh my god, like, oops, dad bod.
But could y'all? I mean, the like Nick's page is all podcast stuff. So then to just have like
Spice it up.
just a thirst trap in there,
Yeah.
I wonder if Matt James would comment.
Yeah, would he give me 2 balloons?
Yeah.
LMAO.
Lamau. Hey,
Way to do it all those push-ups.
Congratulations to Peaches.
Father God just told me you look hot as fuck.
I was in Target this weekend, Nick, and I saw sour candies, and I thought of you, and I was like, should I? I was like, I have to
The
fast
ones
with
you
it.
bought me?
A different kind, but I was like,
Oh,
it said
'cause
sour, and I was like, he would like
If you
that.
if
He
you
would
find
love-
those again, then you should buy them.
You'll break the
'Cause-
fast for that.
Well, I mean, eventually, I don't know. Yeah, eventually I'll try. I don't know. I really.
There is no trying, honey. You eat the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. We have just later in this episode, the great Wells Adams joins us to talk about his very mini short stint on Traitors. And
But he is in Times Square, so like
he is in Times Square.
Next
which
to Alan
pretty-
Cummings.
Pretty cool flex.
stand of the dog.
And Michael Imperioli, you know him from Sopranos. You know him from season 2 White Lotus. He is with us, and he's promoting the restoration of the iconic film Girlstown. So excited to talk with him. I'm excited to ask him about some White Lotus stuff. We got season 3 coming up. I'm curious about his time on White Lotus, so that should be fun. Also, tomorrow we have a very special Going Deeper for you all, so get ready for that. Just a little reminder before we get into Southern Charm, Viall Files Plus is out there available, and many of you are missing out, let me tell you. Our Pop Extra episodes, all your favorite pop culture topics we didn't get to talk about in Reality Recap. We have our Update specials for all you Ask Nick fans out there, all your juicy updates, as well as our Vanderpump recaps. If you are missing Vanderpump, well, as many of us are, we'll bring you back to all the juicy and salacious stuff where, people like Ike Kennedy really, show their true colors and things like that. You can sign up on viallfiles.com, or if you listen to it on Apple, just sign up right there. It's free to sign up. Get a 7-day free trial, so check it out. Should we do some reality TV?
Yeah, did you see Shep Rose is no longer with his girlfriend Sienna?
No? What happened?
Well, after that conversation he had with Molly, I would hope that his girlfriend would be like,
after that scene with Molly, because I
He's
literally
like,
said
"You
to
look
Natalie,
good."
they make sense.
Yeah.
They do.
There's
He
something there.
Why are Shep and Sienna rumored to be broken up?
Well, it's not rumored because he confirmed
It's
it.
facts.
Well,
Okay.
he said it. So basically, he was saying how there was this incident where she didn't buy a plane ticket for a trip they were taking. So she was waiting for him to buy it. So then he was like, okay, I'll buy it. And then basically, this is what he said, she said. Where I come from, the man takes care of everything. That's a bad thing to think and to practice, frankly. So anyhow, I was like, maybe we should take a step back. And she was like, yeah, okay.
I couldn't agree more.
So she said, I expect you to do everything, pay for everything. And he was like, yikes, I don't know how I feel about that. And she was like, well, then maybe we should break up.
Yeah.
I mean, when Natalie and I were dating and she was flying to LA to see me, I paid for the flights, but I offered, and I was like,
He invited me out. So like, if you're inviting me somewhere, you better fucking pay.
Mm-hmm.
But like at a time where like, yeah, I wanted her to come to me. I felt like I was in a position to do that financially. But what Natalie never said to me is, I expect you to do this. You have to do this. A man
also-
pays for everything.
No, but it is like, hey, I want you to come to Australia with me. And it's like, okay. You want me to buy that ticket to Australia? Like, you want me to come with you, and you want me to also pay how many dollars for a flight? Like,
I'm just saying, like, if you would have ever early in our dating situation, just point blank made a statement that like, it's your job to pay for me, point blank, period.
Yes, I do not agree with that.
I would have been like, yuck, ew, ick.
Yeah, I don't.
We're
I
done.
don't agree with that mindset. I know that is a lot of people in the South, especially's mindset. That's a very like old way of thinking of like, man takes care of the family, and like for sure,
I love taking care of my family, but like there's this you remove the it's like you remove the love language from it.
But
You-
also,
you
they're not a
remove-
family yet. Like they've been dating for
we're
2
just
months.
dating.
Yeah,
But like if you are like an active service person and you like doing things for the person you love, as soon as that person says this is an expectation and this is your job to do it, it removes that ability to feel like you're doing something for that person you love. That I want to go out of my way and take care of you. I want to go out of my way and do something nice. It doesn't feel nice when it feels like your job.
Required.
When it's required. And so like I would absolutely be like, you know what? We're just not meant to be.
Wanted to clarify, so they took a break because of it. So they might be back together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not going to last.
Probably not.
It was never going to last, but you know.
I mean, again, in this episode of Southern Charm, he was like all up on Somali, calling her, honking at her from the side, and he's like, you look good.
Yeah.
She was
You
like,
need to give
I'm going to pull over and not,
wants
I don't
to
even
come
care.
talk to you. And
Yeah.
also, like, you need to give yourself so much more credit. I mean, look at you.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just, and then he's like, yeah, so me and Sienna, we're actually doing really good. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Then he's like, I'm gonna listen to classical music for you. Yeah, it's giving crush.
He's coming to her concert.
Southern
Yeah.
Charm. Was that a fake drowning incident? Like, what's going on?
I don't know.
Vanita's not the type to fake, but that scene looked so fake.
I was so confused. I
Yeah,
thought
it
I
was
missed
like-
something.
We need a little spice up this party. And
Yeah.
she was like,
I'll jump in.
hold my drink. And then Craig came to quote unquote save the day.
It was hot.
It did look wonderful. It did look wonderful. Him like lifting her out of the
Literally
pool.
pencil diving into the pool and then being like, I got this.
Or all
And
the
he ruined
guys
his
who just
phone.
like stood there and watched.
Actually, did you see the cameraman? It looked like the cameraman close to the pool like tried to put down the camera and
Yeah.
then saw
And then also
Craig.
realized he's got like packs and all of these things.
Yeah,
but
but-
yeah, Craig had his phone in his pocket too. I don't know if y'all noticed that when he was like pulling it out and I was like, oh my God, what a gentleman.
Yeah.
Then all the other guys really look bad who are just like standing
Yeah.
there.
Whitney
Yeah.
really made me laugh in this episode, though. Just him, like, just his personality of just not wanting to be there and then just being snarky the whole time did make me giggle. And the fact that I was kind of bored the whole episode.
He is the executive producer.
So-
Yeah.
He's
So-
bored of his own show.
Yeah. He was like, well, I'm so happy I'm here tonight.
Who's the other girl that Taylor was fighting with?
Sally.
Sally,
Are we
or
team Sally or team
Taylor. For sure, Taylor.
I feel like, but even back to last season with Olivia, we've met Taylor, we've had her on. She doesn't seem to be this lying, manipulative, backstabbing, not a girl's girl that it seems like so many of her castmates are trying to paint her in. Maybe she just has us fooled, but like, I don't know. I just feel like maybe they don't like her because she's, they see her as
Well, also,
competition.
she didn't say who in the group said not to trust her. We never saw that on
I
camera.
fucking hate that. If you're gonna say people, tell me who it is.
Name 'em.
Name them.
Name them.
No, just random accusation. Oh, everyone says this about you. Fuck you. Fuck
Just
off.
so you know,
That's-
there's a group of people that talk about you. We all feel the same way, but I can't out them because I'm loyal.
no. No,
Well,
that's
yeah.
so immediately you're wrong.
Yes.
If you're the person who says that, you're so wrong. Also, Sally's boyfriend is giving Justin Baldoni.
Gaston.
T.
No.
He is.
Andrew, Sally's boyfriend.
Oh, Sally's
Sally's
boyfriend.
I
Oh,
thought
man,
I
but-
understood the situation, and then as I kept watching it, I was like, I think I have all these people backwards. I'm so confused. They're all
The
blonde.
immediate he's come on to set, we've never seen him before, and the throat grab that
Oh.
he did on Sally for a kiss.
The Hawaiian shirt.
Connor wanted to turn
the
off the
throat
TV.
grab.
No.
The throat
So-
grab, and he did it twice, and like
Listen,
aggressive
in
for
the
no reason.
bedroom. Do your thing. We all love a little, tension. But like that, a greeting on camera is your introduction. Grabbing her throat and pulling her
Unnecessary.
in for a kiss.
Unnecessary.
I kind of like Sally.
I don't, because I don't respect
I mean,
the
I
way
don't
that she's
dislike her.
going about this whole Taylor Gaston thing. For her to sit there and be like, he's part of my past, I deserve a right to talk about him. Sure, yeah, you do, but you're in a relationship, and now he's in a relationship, and you're only doing this to like have some sort of storyline, to like have something to share with the other women to like talk about. That's the only reason you're doing this. Like if this like relationship was something that like you really felt, I don't know. It just seems like it's very performative to me. And like, you're in this new relationship. So why are you like talking about him? And then to be like, he fucking called me and told me to keep his name out of my mouth. Well, yeah, I would too.
Having the right to do something doesn't make you not a douchebag for doing it. Like,
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah. I don't think I fully realized who Sally was because she is blonde hair show, brown hair interview.
it is
and
very
it's
confusing.
Really
Yeah.
confusing for me.
Yeah.
That's all.
I kind of like her as a brunette.
If I have to watch one more scene of Austin crying over Craig, I'm gonna lose it.
Yeah, and I don't why is Madison like this all seems fake. I mean, Craig didn't even meet up with JT. They did a scene.
They did a scene over
And it wasn't
coffee.
even like them getting along. It was them like hashing out their differences.
It was them having a fake conversation because you've got JT in his interviews being like, "Oh, I'm holding back, and there's so much I
Yeah.
want to say," and he's just like, "Hey, buddy, are we gonna be friends? Can we be cool?"
because he's a puss.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
I'm just like, there was no point of us even watching that. Craig was like, all right, guess we're cool, man. And JT's like, we're not fucking cool, but we are cool. Like, I don't know. The whole thing just makes zero sense.
I think Molly added context on our episode last week where she said everybody's acting like his accident was nothing when it was more than like it was dangerous. So that
Mhm.
gives context of like I think clearly JT looks like he feels invalidated. Like people are looking at him like he's weird, saying he's doing stuff he's not doing when it's like
But again, I mean, maybe he had a very serious accident,
Yeah.
but like he can still be doing weird things.
But Craig's saying there's an audio or that he said something where we don't even have audio existing of it is kind of like now you're gaslighting him.
Why would Craig make that up?
Well, I think
I think it was
it's
made
been
up.
proven to like Craig embellishes, and he like likes to add on to a story here and there.
So,
And
okay.
like on Watch What Happens Live, they're like, "You're a bit of a liar," and he was like, "Me? What?" And then they played like several instances where he lied, and it's
Oh.
like,
Okay.
He's kind of messy like that.
And they all said it. Even then, I will say JT's not my favorite person on reality television at all. But I'm like, I will give him, I'm like, he's not the type of person. He's very clean cut in the way that he speaks that I'm like, it's giving like Southern gentleman. I don't think he would use a term like that to call an older woman out of her name. I just really don't.
The start of a new year is a perfect time to get organized, set goals, and prioritize what matters most, and that's where Rocket Money comes in. Rocket Money is a personal finance app that finds and cancels your unwanted subscriptions, monitors your spending, and helps you lower your bills so that you can grow your savings. The best part about Rocket Money, you've probably heard it already, their ability to cancel those unwanted and unused subscriptions. I know so many of us have downloaded apps that we thought we were going to use, or maybe we used once before and we stopped using, when shockingly, we are still being charged and you don't even realize it. Well, let the good people at Rocket Money identify those apps that you're not using and quickly remove them so you stop wasting money on things that you're not using. I myself have saved over $1,000 by using Rocket Money, and the average member has saved up to $740 a year. In addition to canceling unwanted subscriptions, they can also lower your bills. That's right. That's crazy, right? They'll even try to negotiate your lower bills. They'll talk to customer service for you. It's really incredible. Rocket Money's dashboard gives you a clear view of expenses across all accounts. Easy to create personalized budget to help track spending, get alerts if bills increase in price, unusual spending activity, or if you're close to going over budget. Rocket Money has over 5 million users and has saved their customers a total of $500 million in canceled subscriptions. Saving members up to $740 a year when using all the app's premium features. Cancel unwanted subscriptions and reach your financial goals faster with Rocket Money. Go to rocketmoney.com/VIALL today. That's rocketmoney.com/VIALL. rocketmoney.com/VIALL. It's Helix Sleep Time, the greatest mattress ever created by mankind. We raved and ranted about how great Helix mattress, and we're not going to stop. Are you sleeping on a Helix mattress? If you are, finally. If you're not, WTF. Like literally, what are you doing? It's the most amazing mattress you could find ever. It's truly incredible. And the best part is they have a great mattress for all kinds of sleepers. Doesn't matter how you sleep. You sleep hot, you sleep cold, you sleep on your stomach, you sleep on your side. Maybe sometimes you sleep in a little ball, sleep, it doesn't matter. Big and tall sleepers, even for the kids. Helix Mattress has a mattress for all of you. All you got to do is go to helixsleep.com, answer a couple quick questions about your sleep preferences, and they will identify the mattress that's perfect for you. Now, we sleep on that Moonlight mattress, both in LA and at the lake. It's truly a must-have for all the people who want to get a good night's rest. So, if you are in the market for a new mattress today, look no further than Helix Sleep. I promise you, you will not regret it. You don't have to waste your time going to the mattress stores and dealing with all those people who make it seem like a mattress needs to be complicated and take forever to make. It does not need to be that way. You simply just need to go to helixsleep.com and they will take care of the rest. Right now, they have an MLK flash sale through the 22nd. Helix is offering 27% off site-wide plus 2 free Dream pillows with all mattress orders. Go to helixsleep.com/VIALL. That's helixsleep.com/VIALL. helixsleep.com/VIALL. With Helix, better sleep starts now. Anyways, that does it for Southern Charm. I hope they
Figure it out.
figure it out. I can't do any more Austin and Craig. Anyways, now it's time for our friend and the first elimination from Traitors, Will's Adams!
Glad you threw that in.
You were
there.
so pissed. You were so mad.
I was so angry.
We were so angry.
We were angry for you.
Yeah.
It was so fucked the way it happened. It's like,
Yeah, I did not see it coming.
I bet
we
you
know.
didn't.
Yeah.
I bet you didn't.
I was
mean,
like, what are you guys talking about right now? It
And
made zero sense.
and I bet at that round table, because obviously that came out of nowhere. So were you just kind of like, what do I even say? How do I defend myself right now? Like,
I had a little bit of heads up.
okay.
Dylan came to me like 10 minutes before we went to the round table and was like, yo, I'm hearing your name. And I'm like, what? And he's like, yeah, I don't understand it either. Like, it doesn't make any sense. And he's like, you should go do some politicking around the house. And I'm like, yeah, sure. Who's saying it? Like, what do I got to do? And I like walk away from Dylan. And then it's like producers like, stop talking. We're going into the round table. And I'm like,
No.
what?
I need 1 second.
Which it makes sense. Like, I would want all of my like politicking to happen at the round table. Like, I get it from their standpoint,
Yeah.
but I was like, what? And especially when I watched the show back, like I was watching, I guess last night, like Nikki finds out that she's like, her name's being called. So she has time, like, go walk around and be like, what are you guys talking about? I wasn't given that opportunity, which is a bummer.
It's tough though. Cause like when you get accused of something, everyone thinks they're good people readers and
Yeah.
things like that. But if someone was like, "You're a traitor," like it's hard not to be like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like to not find the words and stumble over your words and then have people think that maybe that means you're lying and things like that.
Yeah, I mean, like, so what happened to me was I'm stupid. That's why, like, I'm an idiot. Like, hindsight 2020, right?
Can you talk
So,
about the boat because I do want to ask you about the boat.
yeah. We can go through the whole thing, but my downfall was saying I thought what the Traitors did was stupid,
Yeah.
which I stand by what I said.
I stand by you too. It was stupid.
And
that's
as
not
I
really,
wa-
that's not
as-
really the point.
No, it's not. But as I watch it, I'm like, these are dumb moves. Like, I will die on this hill.
Yeah.
I did die on the hill, actually.
You did, yeah. You're murdered.
But yeah,
you're usually Mr. Affable Wells.
Oh, I know.
Keeps his opinions to himself. Hey, guys, stop arguing. Let's just crack open a beer and have a good time. I'm the guy who ruffles feathers early. Like I was just like, what is he doing?
Well, here's the thing. The thing that I said was not considered controversial by anyone except for two people.
Yeah.
First of all, I wasn't the only one who said that. Everyone said what I said because what happened was the night before, everyone, I would say like 90% of the cast was like, Dorin's a traitor, right? And we're like, yeah, 100%. And so we were like, all right, so we're going to banish her tomorrow, right? And that's how we went to bed thinking, right? And then we wake up and she's gone. She's been murdered. And we're like, everyone was like, but we were going to do that.
Yeah.
Like, why would you kill someone that we were already going to banish? Like,
Yeah.
get a threat out. So everyone said it. And then like where I went wrong was I was sitting in the billiards room and Robin and Sam walk in and we're all talking about it. And everyone is also saying like, yeah, what are we going to do now? Like, that was so dumb. And so she's like, what do you guys think? And I say the thing that I say, and she got really defensive. And like right then I was like, oh no, like I thought what I was saying was a universal
Like
truth.
she would be like, oh yeah, I feel the same way. Yeah.
Yeah. But then, like looking back, it makes sense. Like she's a housewife. I think she was kind of defending a housewife in some way. Looking back, I shouldn't have said what I said, but I wasn't the only one saying it. That's what's really frustrating.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, reality TV edit.
Yeah, I know.
Can we talk about the boat?
Let's talk about the boat.
What were you thinking on the boat? Because
Yeah.
again, maybe it was edited, but what we saw is you guys get in the boat, everyone's rowing. You and Sierra are like manning the ship. I didn't even know why that job required two people in the first place. And then as the boat ride continues, all the women get kicked off the boat. All the guys are like, we need to be strong enough to row the boat. Meanwhile, you're still being like, row, row. And I'm like, Wells, row the boat. Like if I'm one of the people in the boat, I'm pissed at you for just yelling at me for 2 hours while not rowing the boat.
Yeah, that's because I guess you've never been on a dragon boat probably before. So someone has
been
to
on one.
Mansplain it to me.
so someone has to steer. Like so, I was in charge of the rudder.
Is that a physically demanding job?
Well, if no one's doing that, then the boat doesn't go in the direction you want it to.
So that's why it's a two-person job.
Well, so this is how it was explained to us. It was we need someone to steer the boat, and then we need someone to like yell out row.
That explains it too.
And I knew I was in trouble at that exact moment because like my plan going into the show was don't say anything. Basically what Dylan's become very boisterous now.
He's talking.
But in the beginning he was just like, I'm staying under the radar, and I was like, I'm going to do that too. And we were kind of like an alliance in the beginning. And the second we get down to the dock, they're like, all right, even production's like, this is what you have to do. Someone needs to be the one yelling out. Someone needs to be steering. And then also I think it was like a seat thing. Like there wasn't enough seats for like Sierra to go sit in row, I guess. Maybe that could have changed when she got out. But anyways, that's how it was explained. And immediately everyone was like, Wells, you're the loudest. You're the most opinionated. You're the leader. You get up there and you steer. And I was like, oh. Damn it. Like I'm 5 minutes into doing this show and I've already fucked up my plan of like going under the radar.
They're like, you're loud. You're like, who said?
Yeah. And I was like, oh no. So,
okay, that explains that.
Yeah. So and also like they did cut this, but there was a little bit of like toxic masculinity thing going on of like, the weak women need to get off the boat and the strong men need to stay in row. And there was a little bit of like, that's gross. And also like Nikki can like bench press me. She's much stronger than I am. So I was like, this is dumb. So there was a point where as much as I wanted a shield, I felt bad, and I was like, hey guys, if I'm not doing a good job of steering the boat, then I will get off. Like, I feel bad for all the women that are like kind of getting thrown to the wolves. And everyone was like, shut up, we need you to steer. You're doing a great job. Just don't worry about it. We got to figure it out down here. And I'm like, okay.
Oh, they threw it to the bus there. Okay.
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 So
I'm glad. Thank you for offering that context.
Yes.
Did you watch Ion sob at home?
Yeah.
About you leaving? Like, were you like, did you watch that with the rest of us? Or
Yeah.
did you know that she was that upset?
Well, I know we were really like, she was my favorite. She might be my favorite person. No offense, Nick. She might be my favorite person I've ever met on a reality TV show.
I've never had the illusion that I was your favorite person.
Well,
Aw.
you're in the top 10 for sure. But she was so like in a world full of just like vapid, just, egocentric people. She was like the most lovely person I've ever met.
In 2017, she DM'd me and told me I was full of
Oh, I saw the video.
So
And that
funny.
makes me love her even more. That is the best. And then I saw that she liked something like later or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and didn't
I messaged
delete
her
it.
and I gave her a heads
Yeah.
up that like we talked about it because
Yeah.
I didn't want to like throw her under the bus. And then she finally unsent them. I'm like, we've already seen it.
The damage is done.
Not that, but
No, she was such like this amazing like light of like beauty, like inside and out too. She had no idea what game she was playing. My favorite thing was that we were riding like to the castle or whatever. You're in cars a lot when you're not filming, and so a producer is reading her the rules, and so that she can sign like the rule, right? Like, this needs to be done before we start filming. So if I'm Ian, you're me, and then you're the producer. Producer's reading, and she's just looking at me, being like, "Okay, so tell me about your wife. Big fan of your wife. Oh my God, Modern Family. I love Modern Family. And so the producer's like, Ian, you need to focus. You need to focus. And she's like, I can do two things at once. She cannot do two things at once. The whole time she was like, Wells, what is happening? What is happening? And I'm like explaining her the rules. And her whole thing was, she was like, my son thinks I'm going to be the first one killed. And so she was so pumped that she wasn't the first one killed, which was like so cute. But then she was like the third one. And I was like, no, dude.
What were the traitors thinking?
I think that was, so I think that what Bob, the drag queen, his whole thing was he wanted chaos, which I do think that that's like a fun and like a good strategy. But chaos also doesn't breed accusing people of murdering people, right?
Like chaos also implies no strategy.
Yeah, it's very true
in a way.
With the chaos of Dorinda being killed, like it made no sense because we all thought we were going to banish her the next day. So then it became this like mad dash of like, who do we all kind of glob onto, which was unfortunately yours truly. But the Ian one made no sense to me because you can't pin it on somebody. Like, this is why Ian would be killed, And then also there are a lot of really, really strong players in the game. And no offense to Ian, but like, she's not like a strategical genius, Like I would have taken out, like a Wes long before. Right. Now, I don't think actually he could have been up for murder, but you know what I'm saying? Like that's why it made no sense to me. And it also wasn't like leading people down a path to blame someone else that wasn't a traitor.
Yeah, to your point, like traitors or faithful, whoever they were, there's some clearly people in the cast that like self-identify as like game players, strategic players, and you would think that you would just take them out
first to be like, well, at least we got the game players out. Now all we have to deal with is housewives and bachelors.
Yeah, like if as a faithful, like you're just like, because at the end of the day, you're all competing against each other in a way, right? So like, just take out. I mean, I guess unless you think Rob's a faithful, I don't know. I think you should take him out because eventually Rob's gonna rob for Rob.
Yep.
So like,
as we saw,
I think you should just take out.
Well,
Rob.
I think that's what they realized, obviously, with this last
I called that shit so
episode.
hard.
Them being like, how does he 100% know?
Yeah.
Last week I said I didn't think it was going to happen literally the next episode, but I said Boss Rob's going to backstab Bob the drag queen, and he did.
I think that I don't know. I know him, but I don't know what's in his mind. But I think that he was getting frustrated with Bob was not only kind of like running the round table, but he was also running the turret. And I think that he thought that the decisions that Bob the drag queen was making was bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that Caroline kind of agreed with him in that respect. And I think for Rob's game, he was like, I need to get rid of this guy because I want to have control over the turret. And I think that like strategically, I'm a better game player than he is. And I would agree with that. I just think that he showed his hand a little too early because Dylan was already wanting to go down that route. And then he like really like globbed on.
How do you think Boston Rob gets out of the target he's put on himself?
I don't know how he gets out of it. But I don't know if enough people, like they're all sitting in the bar and Wes makes the genius point of like, how do you 100% know, you know? And so then everyone's like, it takes everyone a while. And the person who figures it out, like answers the question is Tom Sandoval, which I love. And he's like, he's a traitor. And he's like, yeah.
You know, broken clocks right twice a day.
Well, that's the thing. Tom accused everyone of being a traitor, which was wonderful. And that was one of the things that frustrated me the most about the roundtable of which I was banished was that Tom went on like a 20-minute diatribe about Rachael. And like, he's like, I could tell from the way that she took off her thing. And I remember being like, dude, shut up, man. They're going to kill me. No one cares about Rachael. No one thinks this is, I was like, dude, stop talking. Let me defend myself or defend me, I guess. But yeah, he was throwing a lot of spaghetti at the wall.
Tom's going to go decently far because he's not a threat to anyone.
But that's what I thought about Ian, too.
Yeah. That's a good point.
You know?
It doesn't make sense why she got voted out. It's weird, though. I do think maybe it's a criticism of Bachelor Nation, but the other franchises like The Housewives, Survivor, Big Brother, they protect their own. And I feel like Bachelor Nation, we're all in it for ourselves. I don't think there's any, I don't know, were you and Gabby like
Did she vote for you? At the round? She didn't. Okay.
No, I was friends with the girls. I was the Bambies because I was.
Oh, look, Gabby's in the group.
Yeah, because on the way back from the Dragon Boat race, we were all in the same car.
The Bambies.
Yeah.
What a name to give yourself.
I know. Chef's kiss.
So the six-pack bros.
Yeah. Well, they were like, because I had said like, if you guys want me to get out, I will. I don't want to, but like, I'll get out just to make it fair that like. Also, like, I'm not doing anything. And I remember Gabby being like, you're an ally. And I'm like, yes! Yes, I am!
Do you think that comment of, like, I'll get out, but I don't want to, is seen as, like, you trying to, like, no?
No. Because I was very much like, I do not want to do this, please, but, and...
So what do you think ultimately caused you to have the target on your back, other than, like, people saying, oh, you're the most outspoken, blah, blah, blah? That doesn't make you a traitor.
I think it's two things. Well, I think it's a bunch of things. But I think that me saying to Robin and Sam, I thought it was a dumb move to kill Dorinda, and then her getting defensive, and then me feeling very weirded out by that. I was like, because in my mind, I'm like, okay, you're getting really defensive of me saying it was a dumb move. Surely you're not a traitor and dumb enough to show that me saying a traitor's move is stupid would affect you like this.
Yeah.
Did you say that at the round table?
Yeah, I did.
That's a good argument.
Wait, can I ask you, how long is the round table session? And then also, what did you say to defend yourself that we didn't get to see on television?
Okay. Maybe an hour and a half.
Really?
Yeah, it's really long.
Okay, was not expecting that.
Yeah. They cut out a lot. Like I fought.
It's like 5 minutes. Not even.
I know.
Yeah.
I fought a lot of people. I fought Tony a good bit. My thing is that he had come and said something to the effect of, right after the touching of the shoulders, who does everyone think is a traitor? And I was like, well, I want to go backwards. I want to go and X out people who I do not think are traitors and then hone it down and then figure it out from there. Because I was like, Ian, definitely not a traitor. Tom Sandoval, worst casting decision in the world to make the biggest villain in America a villain again. Yeah, of course. I was like, not a traitor, like me, not a traitor. Dylan Efron, no, like I was like doing that. And he was like, that's a real traitorous way of thinking. And I was like, Tony, you're a cop. Isn't the number one thing to X out like who has alibis in a murder case? Like, what are you talking about?
Also, you should have probably been like, well, if you vote me off, like you're going to look really like not a good cop.
Yeah. So the first question was, how long does it go? And then
what did you say to defend yourself that we didn't get to see?
Okay. So the truth of the matter is that the next mission that we had was the 3 guys in the bird cages, and we were all running around trying to get coins to bring them down. I thought that I had a target on my back from the Traitors because I said that that their move was stupid. And so I really wanted to get a shield, but then I had like a whole plan. And we can go into the plan in a second, but everyone was getting down Boss and Rob, and then people were getting down Derek, and no one was getting down Wes. And I was like, I'm a huge fan of the challenge, and I also like just know if you kind of like attach your wagon to either Wes or CT or Johnny Bananas in the challenge, you can kind of ride that to the end. So I was like, Wes, you're my boy, I'm getting you down. And what they didn't really show was, I would say like 90% of the coins that were got for Wes was from me. And so it was Dylan and I who were just like doing wind sprints up and down this thing. People kind of like quit on it and were like not trying to get coins as much. Once we got 2 guys down.
You're good at untying knots?
Yeah, the knots one was annoying, but the one that was the hardest, you had to kind of sprint up a hill and then like throw, they didn't show all of them, but you had to throw rocks at these bags, then knock them down and then run back down. And so no one wanted to do that because you had to run up this hill. So it ended up being Dylan and I were the only ones running up and down the hill. Anyway, so I get him down and I'm like keeled over, like cannot catch my breath at the end of it. We had to like stop and like wait for me to like catch my breath before we like continued filming. So one of my arguments was like, I think I'm going to be killed by a traitor. I worked so hard to get Wes down. Why would I be running like this if I didn't care? And then they didn't show this part, but Wes chimes in and he's like, it's true. Wells got me down. Like he was running really, really hard. I think if he was a traitor, he probably wouldn't have been like going that balls to the wall. So that was one of my arguments. I don't know.
Do you feel like they just didn't have anyone else? Like,
for sure. Because it was supposed to be Dorinda.
Yeah.
Because what happened with Dorinda was she was the first one off the boat, right? And so the implication is that if you get off the boat on the pontoon, you don't care about immunity because you're a traitor, right? Like you don't have to worry about sleeping tonight.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if they thought about that. We were really early in the game, but she was the first one off. And then like the way that they did the show, which was brilliant, they make them stay out there. They make them cold. They make all of us go back, get in our nice, clothes, feed us really well. Then they bring them. We all thought they were going to go home, be done with the day of filming. And then they come in. And so they're so angry, which I totally get. And I remember Dorinda was like, you couldn't wait to eat the food.
Yeah.
And we're like, I remember straight up, I was like, dude, just tell Crafty to get more. What are we talking about here? Like they told us to eat. We're just doing what we're told. I remember yelling out to production. I was like, can we get her a hot plate? Like, what are we doing? Because it was like cold by that time, but it was, good producing. But so then she goes in and she starts going crazy, like at Ivor, because Ivor was the one who was like, the weak women need to get off the boat.
Yeah. Crazy.
The old Brit.
Yeah. The old Lord. And so we all were like, whoa, this is a lot. I remember being like, so is this what Housewives is? Because I'm never going on that show. Because she was just going nuts. And afterwards we were like, seemed like a little much, right? Like a little over the top. And everyone's like, yeah, she was the first one out of the boat. She went like nuts on us for like, what are we going to do? We got back here. They told us to put the clothes on. They told us to eat the food. And so everyone's like, yeah, she's definitely a traitor. So then by the time that the roundtable happened, I think no one had any concrete evidence. And what ended up happening was that Robin, because I said, I think it was a dumb thing, and then she got defensive of it, and then I was like, ah! Like I walked out of the room. She was like, you're acting weird. I think Bob grabbed onto that and was like, this will be a good opportunity to get Wells out. And I don't know if this is true. It'll be fun to go do like the after show and like figure out what their thoughts were, because the person that knocks me out that's the deciding vote is Carolyn, who is a traitor. So I wonder if they were like, if we have an opportunity to knock Wells out, let's do that over Robin, who that's my campaign was against her effectively.
I mean, that makes sense. I mean, like even like this episode, I thought like Bob wasted his own vote. It ended up not mattering, but like early on, Bob voted against, who was it? Bob the drag queen.
Rob. He went back to Rob when everyone was doing Sierra.
It's like, like vote for Sierra, even if you don't think it's Sierra, because like she's your biggest competition.
For sure.
And like he wasted his own vote on just being petty.
Yeah, I made a mistake because they.
Who did you vote for?
I voted for Robin, but I made the mistake that I made was they said, you said that it was a dumb move. Who got upset? And I was like, Robin, because she's the one who says it out loud, like at the round table. And they're like, who else? And I was like, Sam, because that was the truth. I should never have said Sam, because the second I said Sam was like, well, I'm voting for Wells now. And so that was I think the thing that screwed me over.
I think that's the part you realize. I'm like watching it.
Yeah.
Is like you know, it's just like you have to be mindful of that because especially around the round table, people will like vote out of pettiness or just to get back at you, and you have to like kind of count votes because that seems to.
It's also an easy way to argue it, because when you make your vote, they don't always show it, but when you make your vote and you have to show it, you have to kind of say why. And so it's a really, really, it's such a easy way out of being like, dude, you said my name. I don't like that. That's on you.
Yeah.
Instead of like, I think it's Sierra because she was cussing in the coffin or whatever, you know?
Yeah.
So yeah, look, I've made a lot of bad decisions.
There's a lot of talk about Tom Sandoval detoxing.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He was sweating a lot that
He
one
was
day.
so sweaty
Yeah.
wearing that great t-shirt.
I think he just runs hot, dude. I think that like he just
I don't know.
Isn't he like a little glitchy? He's like twitching a little bit.
he just doesn't stop. Like he's always talking. He's always
Oh,
I mean, you know that.
Yeah, he definitely has a high motor.
yeah. He like it's kind of impressive. Oh, the other thing that I think so. I talked about this somewhere else, but what Robin says is something to the effect of like, after Alan went around and touched everyone, I noticed that you were different. And I was like, I don't think I was different. But we had only ever been around each other on camera during that time. And then after that, then there becomes a lot of like the hurry up and wait of making a television show, which is like you're film, and then you're not, shut up, right? And, you know, I am someone who like, when I'm filming a television show, if like the cameras aren't on, I'm not doing anything. Like I'm hanging out. I'm trying to like keep my energy level at like a baseline. One, because I don't want to like waste like good jokes or like funny sound bites when nothing's happening. And two, like they are really, really long days. And it's funny because like, you know, she's a housewife. And that's one thing I noticed with the housewives. I was like, oh my God, you guys never stop. Like this is all you got. This is who you are. Which is amazing. That's why those TV shows are so great. But I was like, I wouldn't have the bandwidth to be able to do this all day long. And so my theory, I haven't talked to Robin, but my theory is that she saw I was much different when the cameras were on than when the cameras are off. And she was like, that's traitor mentality or whatever.
Will you campaign to try to go back either next season?
No.
Or you're done.
No desire to go back on that show.
Why?
Well, I'm not good at competition shows. I got 8th on The Bachelorette. I got 22nd on this
The
one.
Bachelor's about love.
That's true. No, I don't know. I think that
You've gotten first on Bartender.
Yeah,
You won Worst Cooks.
I did win Worst Cooks, but also, is that a win?
That's a competition.
Oh, yeah.
You're the best worst cook in
Or I
America.
beat Johnny Bananas.
How is the food there?
Terrible. I
That's
mean,
my
like,
big concern.
well, you should do the show.
Yeah, they've asked, but like it's
Yeah.
been tough with this show, and
Yeah, I get
someday
it.
it would be fun to try. But
It'd be interesting to see how you do, because you are super cerebral.
I could see myself being first out. I could see myself, because that's the thing. It's just, it depends who else they cast. We've talked some shit about some people on reality TV.
Yeah.
Great television then,
Yeah.
right there.
Listen, I mean,
Everyone just like being like, you called me this. You said this about me. It's
I would
like,
not be
he's a
worried about
traitor.
my
A
ability to
dump
make
on-
television, but
Yeah.
it really depends how. Yeah, it could go either way, and I think to your point, there's gamesmanship, but there's a lot of things outside of your control. Like Johnny Bananas was the first one out last season. Like I think he probably would have been an excellent player had he just and I think that made sense when I was watching it because he comes from the challenge. He's been very successful. Like a Dorinda, that didn't make sense. Johnny Bananas, let's just get a strong player out
For sure.
immediately, no matter what. That made total sense.
Did you talk to anyone before you went and filmed from last season?
No, it's funny though, because I thought for sure it was going to be Johnny Bananas, who was the person that they like derobe in the first episode. And like, I love Johnny. I've known him now for years. And if it was him, I would have been like, I'll get you. You can come in the game. I'll kill somebody here. I love Johnny Bananas. But then when it was Rob, I was like, everyone was like, oh. And I turned to Dylan. I'm like, oh, who is that? And he's like, that's from Survivor. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't watch that show. But yeah, if it would have been Johnny, I would have gotten him in the game.
Or would that have given you a shield or like immediate?
Yeah, but then it puts a target on your back because
Yeah.
you kill somebody right then and there.
Right.
Which I think that if they had done it, it would have
Yeah.
been moot because that person would have come back in that birdhouse the next day, you know, and then they would have been angry at whoever
Yeah,
did it.
yeah,
I could
yeah.
see how it was all planned out great.
That's crazy.
First out. I thought you would have been a good traitor.
Yeah, that was a
if I'm a producer, I'm picking you as a traitor. Of course, then you would have been identified anyways.
Yeah, then they would have been right about that.
Yeah.
But then I wouldn't have had like Bob the drag queen and Carolyn, 2 traitors, vote for me.
That's true. They would have like rallied with you. Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, but maybe that's why you got voted out because like you know the nice guy and just like
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I had this whole plan. I was going to set this trap a la like Pilot Pete. So after the second mission, I go talk to Wes and I'm like, I got your ass down. And he's like, you're getting my shield. And I was like, hell yeah. And then I pull, I should have been politicking for myself before the roundtable. Right before the roundtable, I pull Ian aside and I was like, I'm getting the shield, but I want you to say you got the shield. And I'll back that up. And I think I can get Wes to say that as well. So that means that you'll be safe tonight from banishment because they think that you have a shield. And that means that I'll be safe from banishment because I actually have the shield. And then if no one gets murdered tonight, then we'll know that they were trying to kill me. And then we got to figure out who would want me out. And then at the time I thought it was Robin. And I was like, yeah, she'd want me out of there because I went so hard at her earlier that day. So that was my plan, but I never got there. So
I mean, Robin has the worst read on everyone she says. It's like, what?
Yeah.
Really?
Her
Okay.
Tom, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. totally.
No, Dylan, it's so funny because Ian actually called Bob the drag queen. And I was like, really? It's a little too on the nose because
It's
like
hard to say it's obvious as a viewer.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
you know, but
Yeah, like I remember thinking it was a little bit on the nose of like the biggest, loudest person in the house is going to be a traitor. But Ian was very much like, I think he's a traitor. I don't trust him. And it was funny too, because he says something that really hurt my feelings. He said that I've been really standoffish to him. And that wasn't true at all.
it's like I've been here for a day.
Well, and the reason why he was the person I tried the hardest with for these reasons. He does a podcast with Monet Exchange, of whom went to high school with my wife. He's on RuPaul's Drag Race, of which my wife was a judge. And then Sarah was taking over on Little Shop of Horrors from Jinx Monsoon, who was on RuPaul's Drag Race, of whom I had just hung out with multiple nights in New York and was like, this is the coolest person I've ever met. So I was at every opportunity I went up to Bob being like, okay,
We can connect.
I got
We
another
can
thing to talk
connect.
to you about.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
I know I'm a cis white, like straight male, but like I know we have the same friend. Like I know. And when he said that, I was like,
He's just projecting on you.
well, when he said that, I was like, I know that's not true.
Yeah.
Did you call him out?
Yeah, so they cut that out too. But I was like, what are you talking? I said those exact things. I was
Yeah.
like, X, Y, Z. I have tried to talk to you and you've like shut me down. And at the time I was like, I will concede I'm not everyone's cup of tea. Like, that's fine. But to say that like I haven't been trying with you, that's not true. And then I remember right after I get banished, I'm pissed off. But I'm like, Robin's a traitor. And I was like, and Bob's a liar. So he made that up, and ipso facto, he's a traitor. And I think that Dylan saw that because all the things that I said about that, everyone heard. Dylan was like, you let it. Wells said that you were lying about that. And then there were people who were like, yeah, I was in the car when he was talking to you about this. So anyways, I wish I had like used my intuition more.
What was that phone call like with Sarah when you left?
Like you got fired from a job.
Yeah, she's
like,
like,
"Hey."
What? Yeah, I don't.
I think it's possible on that show, though.
It
yeah,
is-
I
it
think
is crazy,
Yeah, it's weird because you get to call your family
during.
Yeah, but someone's like in the room to like make sure that you don't say anything. Sarah's like trying to do like sign language, like
Like you're FaceTiming.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good to see you. Anyone else? What else is going on in your life?
I don't know. Nothing. Sarah's. I'll promote my wife. She's gonna be Daisy Buchanan on Broadway and in The Great Gatsby. It is. I saw the show beforehand when she was doing Little Shop.
It hasn't started yet.
Her run starts February 10th, and she goes through the summer. So you've got.
Oh wow.
I'm gonna need some time off.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, we might go out there. Was it like the 7th, 8th, or 9th or something? Is that a Monday?
Yeah.
Monday's a Tuesday.
I think it's pretty positive her
Tuesday?
schedule starts on Monday.
No, she's off on Mondays.
Who
10th
knows
is
her
a
better?
Monday.
It is?
10th is a Monday.
Who knows her better, her best friend or her husband?
Well, what is today?
Monday.
Yeah, so she's off today. So okay, whatever. It's February 10th. Hold on, let me look at my calendar. Maybe it's 11.
I was gonna say
this is
if
the
she's
worst
off on Mondays,
promo.
then it's the 11th.
Early Feb, guys. She's,
early Feb for
early
sure.
Early Feb.
Yeah, you're right. I don't know what I'm talking about.
It's okay.
Maybe Tuesday she's off. It doesn't really
She's still in
matter.
rehearsals right now, so maybe she's just off
Yeah,
for
maybe
rehearsals.
rehearsal off. What the fuck do I know about?
No,
Broadway?
because you got to be off the same day as in rehearsals because they have to have the actors come and do it with them, and they wouldn't make them have to work on their day
So
off.
what does a husband do when his wife's living abroad?
Making out with a different guy on stage every night. That damn Jay Gatsby. What do? I don't do anything.
Oh, your wife. I thought you were like, you were making out.
No, he's
No.
making out with a different guy every night.
I'm
at
making
home.
out
It's a
with.
weird way to pass the time, but okay.
Yeah, I'm hanging with Boo. We've got there's a bunch of things that I have coming up that I can't talk about, but are really exciting. And I'm supposed to go to Orlando to go hang out with Benjamin Higgins and Joey Graziani.
Graziadade.
Italian last name.
Golfing.
Yeah, we're doing this LPGA event. So I've got that coming up, and that's about it.
It's good to see you, man.
You too. I miss you guys.
Yeah,
Miss you.
we're here every week.
Yeah, I know.
You know where we live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see her all the time, so this is not that exciting.
It's okay.
Sierra.
It's okay.
But thanks for having me. I'm sorry I didn't do better. I'm like embarrassed.
We're okay with it.
That's okay. Good.
We were rooting for you, and
We were
we were
rooting
all
for you,
pissed
but-
when you got voted off.
I was too.
Yeah, we were like, "What the fuck?"
I was so angry.
So mad.
Well, because everyone's like, we're gonna be the first season to get a traitor out first. Like that's what everyone said, and I'm like, yeah, that's a good idea. Let's do that. And then they get me, and I'm like, what? Fuck, guys! Not even
Idiot.
close.
Oh my gosh.
I should have, to your point earlier, I should have said to Alan, I want to be a traitor. Because then at least you're like control of your own destiny.
Yeah.
But I didn't do that because I didn't care.
Yeah.
I was like indifferent. I was like, I'd be a good traitor, but I think I'd be a better faithful. I'm good at reading people. So I don't know. Hindsight's 2020. Every move that was bad, I made. Calamity of Errors.
It's only a game,
My memoir.
which is something that fans sometimes seem to forget about with this show.
Yeah.
They get real tense.
Yeah. Because it's weird because it's questioning people's like integrity, which is something that people take very, very seriously.
True.
You know?
Especially if it's like lying in Bachelor Nation is
Yeah.
worse than murder.
No, I know. And like, yeah,
Pun
the
intended.
whole thing is like being there for the wrong reasons, right? If you're a traitor. And so that's a hard thing. That was the thing that annoyed me the most. I didn't care about the money. I didn't care about getting kicked off. The embarrassment of like being out early. What hurt my feelings was someone said something about me that I didn't think was true.
Yeah.
But anyways, priorities.
You're still number one in our hearts.
Thanks.
Aw.
33 in the field, number one in our hearts.
All right.
All right.
Good talking to you.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Wells.
All right, up next, you know him as Christopher from Sopranos. He's also in season 2 of White Lotus. He played the sex-addicted dad. Michael Imperioli is with us next. Michael,
Hi.
how's it going?
Okay, how are you?
We're doing great, man.
We're so excited to have you. We're such big fans.
Thank you very much.
So what's new in your world, man?
Well, I just played a couple of concerts with my band this last week in Washington, D.C., Philadelphia, and New York. And then we have another one next week that's a benefit for the relief, for the victims of the fires in Los Angeles here in New York City.
Yeah, it's terrible. Do you? We certainly know a lot of people. Thankfully, we were okay. We know a lot of people who sadly were affected. Do you have any friends that you know?
Yeah, several. It's unimaginable tragedy.
We really big fans of White Lotus here on this show.
Thank
we
you.
really enjoyed you in season 2. What was that experience like?
It was just incredible experience on every level, both in terms of the production and being there, just as a visitor to Sicily and being in those amazing cities in Sicily, and as an actor, the material and the cast, and Mike White, who directed everything and wrote everything. It was pretty much a dream gig for me because I love being in Italy, and working there is really, really fun and exciting.
How long was filming? Much time did you
4
get to spend
months.
there? 4 months. Okay.
I wish it was longer.
Yeah. Do you, obviously with such a large ensemble cast, did you get to interact with all of your castmates or get to know some more than others? Because, you know, with different scenes, people are, you know, sometimes you're not working with people, or is it more like a family atmosphere with the entire cast?
I definitely got to know the actors that I worked most closely with best, but we spent a lot of time together as a group because we were all living in the hotel where we were shooting most of the show, and the hotel was closed, so it was just the cast and crew and the hotel staff in this, you know, beautiful hotel. So we had dinners together and you know, some parties, and you know, got to spend a lot of time wandering around the streets there, and it was a really lovely vibe among the cast and crew.
That's great. So much about White Lotus is like, you know, who's the one who got murdered. Did you guys, when you get the script, is that part kept private from you guys? I don't know if that was the same with Sopranos at the end. Did you guys know about the ending prior to it happening, or how did that all play out?
Yeah, we knew, but we were definitely sworn to secrecy. And that's how it was on The Sopranos as well. Like, we all knew what was going on, but it was really important to everybody. It's just more fun that the audience can get surprised. We kept it a secret as much as we could.
Did Tony Soprano die at the end?
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I've always thought that, yeah.
Are you the type of actor that likes to watch your work back, or are you like, I don't care, I don't need to see it, I don't want to watch myself?
I usually watch it once, which is enough. Maybe more than enough. Less and less over the years do I enjoy it. It just gets me in my head a little bit too much. It's a little better if it's been done for a while and I can see it. I don't like watching playback on the set, which some people do, and they find it very helpful for their performance. I don't find it helpful, so I avoid it. I just get in my head and start focusing on the wrong things. I kind of pretend that nobody's going to see it except the crew and the other actors. I kind of live in a little bit of a fantasy world that millions of people aren't going to be watching this in a couple of months.
That's probably smart. I bet it would be easy to be a bit of a perfectionist in that, you know, if you keep watching playbacks and being like, I can do it better than that. I can do it better.
Yeah, something like that. Or like, it's also really hard to be objective. Like, are my choices working or not? It's really hard for me to know what's being communicated. So you have to really leave that up to the director.
Yeah, is it just easier for you to just kind of trust the director and let them lead, and you just kind of you do your thing and
yeah. Much easier for me to turn that over to the director, and then I just focus on trying to do the best within the takes rather than judging the last take and stuff, and you know, let them adjust and make adjustments.
Did you ever see Mike on Survivor?
No, I never watched Survivor. No, but he brought some of the people he did Survivor with. They did some background work in Sicily. He keeps, I guess, in contact with them, and he's friends with a lot of them, and they visited the set in Italy.
Oh, that's really cool. Who do you keep in close contact with from that cast?
Well, Murray Abraham has become one of my closest friends, to be honest. I mean, he lives in New York, as do I, so we see each other quite often, and our families have kind of become friends as well. And Adam DeMarco played my son. I keep in touch with. I just saw him a couple of months ago when he visited New York. Sabrina Impacciatore I keep in touch with, and Simona Tabasco.
A good bit.
But once in a while I hear from you know, quite a bunch of them. So I have really fond memories of it all, and have formed some good friendships.
Do you feel like White Lotus has changed the way that you look or view traveling? Do you have any sort of like, what if?
You know, I mean, to be honest, shooting in a place like that really can spoil you, because having this suite overlooking the Mediterranean Sea, you know, because we were living there, so you're kind of experiencing a bit of that as well. And it was very exclusive because the place was closed, yet there was this whole staff in the hotel working there. Also, the town itself is a seasonal, mostly a summer resort town. And we got there at the end of February. So for the first couple of months, the town itself was very quiet. So the restaurants and bars and little shops that we went to, they all knew who we were and what we were doing there. So there was a bit of exclusivity to that too, and that was really kind of fun, to have that
Yeah.
connection to the people in the town as well.
Yeah, that is cool.
Talk to us about the restoration of Girlstown.
Well, this was a movie that we did in the 90s, kind of the height of American independent cinema, and really the beginning of the Sundance generation of films. Jim McKay's the director, and Lily Taylor, who was one of the stars. We were a part of a theater company and had done some, independent off Broadway theater that our friend Tom Gilroy was writing, and we were producing stuff together. And this kind of came out of that vibe and that community. The important thing about this restoration and re-release of the movie and place like IFC showing it is that a lot of these movies, because nobody really makes or has DVDs anymore. I mean, very few people do. And if they're not on the streamers, you can't find these movies.
Yeah.
If they're not making new DVDs, and if you're not a collector who has them, the streamers have a limited amount of movies that they keep. A lot of these movies that were made back then, you can't get them. You can't see them. You can't find them. And I think this one is a pretty important one because it's really a precursor to the whole Me Too movement way before that actually happened,
Yeah, that's awesome. And you make such a great point about so many great films and movies aren't available. One of the greater movies that you were in, Goodfellas, I watch it all the time. It's one of my rewatchables. Do you still fall into the category of you don't watch your work, or is that a film? Because that's one of those things that's constantly on TV. Every once in a while during the holidays, you'll find it playing. Does that bring you back, or do you still avoid that one as well?
That's a little easier because it's so long ago. It's like another lifetime ago, but I do tend to avoid it. I kind of have this game with myself. Nobody really sees what I do. Kind of silly, but I guess it makes it a little bit easier to go in front of the camera all the time. I don't.
You've worked with some legendary actors. Has anyone been like a role model for you, or who's had the biggest impression on your career from having the opportunity to work with them?
From actually working, De Niro was a big influence. I was such a big fan, and then when I got an opportunity to work with him so early in my career, I obviously was watching him very closely. And, what I learned from him was how to economize, not dissipate your energy with distraction, because shooting a movie are long hours, and you're on set for a long time, and there's a lot of distractions. And then we're rolling, everything has to be concentrated and, intensified into this little moment that you're creating. And you may have some important close-up in some really important scene in hour 13 of the day. So you better have something in the tank. And I watched him, make sure of that. And I definitely kept that with me. But just as a fan, or as a wannabe actor, when I was young, Al Pacino definitely was a big inspiration with just what he brought to the screen and what he brought to his characters, and the honesty that he brought to his roles and the depth that really touched me, made me want to be an actor.
That's very cool. It's super cool to talk with you, man, and very excited to see Girlstown restored. And anything else you want to plug before we let you go?
Just the benefit, which is next Tuesday, January 28th at Bowery Electric in New York City, which, is a bunch of New York bands playing, and the money is all going to, to help the victims of the LA fires. So you can go to Bowery Electric's website and get tickets if you want.
Awesome.
Really quickly, do you think Nick looks like Theo James?
Yeah.
Right?
I see that.
I know.
He's turning
I
red.
see that a lot. You could play his brother.
You
Yeah.
could.
White Lotus season 4.
Yeah,
Season 4.
when it was airing, I got a lot of those.
You got a lot of that, right?
Got a lot of that. So I didn't
I can
quite
see
see it, but
that.
I'll take it. He's a handsome fellow.
You got to work on your British accent.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah. All right, Michael. Really appreciate your time. Appreciate you, and talk soon.
Thanks for having me. Take care.
Thank
All right,
you.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
So cool.
Can you do a British accent?
Hello, mate.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
stop
what's
it.
all this then?
Yeah. I'm British.
Oh my god.
Take it
So
back. I
no.
take it back.
All right, let's time to get into some Salt Lake finale.
Best
Uh,
franchise.
Ugh.
Sorry.
it's good.
It
it's good.
is.
but
Yeah.
Lisa's such a hypocrite.
Tell us how you really feel.
Words.
Well, I mean,
Get into it.
it's not even an opinion. This is a fact. Like, first of all, I mean, vicious game.
I feel like Heather never has good ideas with games at these.
It's giving Saw Trap.
By not good.
It was brilliant.
It was awesome. I mean, clearly it seemed like Heather went to the producers
Yes.
and said, I have a great dirty idea. Or maybe they had an idea. Heather has made it very clear that she is a producer pet.
She does her
For
job.
sure.
She does
her job.
She's
She-
clocked
And
in.
we're thankful for that.
Yeah, nope, that's not a criticism.
Yeah.
It's just an observation.
No, when she said, we're going to read the worst text message about another person at this table, I'm just like audibly out loud being like, you're doing what? Like, I was like talking to the TV. 'Cause I was like,
Yeah.
What I loved about this game, it revealed who the real housewives are
right.
and who the fake real housewives are.
Yup.
And Mary played, Bronwyn played, Heather played, Angie played, and Whitney played. Whitney played.
Whitney played.
Whitney won.
Played. Yeah,
Whitney won. Whitney went the distance.
That was. You could argue that was a little dirty.
A little?
It definitely was dirty.
It was
for sure.
unnecessary.
Yeah.
She's good. It was scrappy.
But my question is, do you think that Whitney knew that Lisa was going to have to open up and like zoom in for every word, that she wasn't going to see what the actual text message said before she read it out loud?
Because it's like is Lisa
Brittany
like,
had to do that too.
She was just like, and then she made out, and my husband did what? Like, it was just like every word for word that I was like, oh my God, if you would have zoomed out and just read it, you would have known what
Didn't
was
have
in
her
there.
glasses on.
So
Yeah.
I was at a party with Justin. Yeah.
And then what? So Lisa and Meredith literally didn't even play. You knew she didn't want to, and then basically performed her anger and stormed off chasing Lisa.
I mean,
just so she didn't have to read her nasty comments, which we'll never know what
was said.
What was said.
I know.
I'm sure it would have been just a la Lisa, where it was like a nothing burger. Like, really, that's the worst thing you've ever said about anyone, Lisa?
I
Like,
mean, Brittany's being like,
that was
I
awesome.
want to invite Bronwyn instead of Mary. And she's like, I did a search.
Yeah.
You searched meanest thing about, like,
This is the
women.
meanest thing
I'm-
I've said about you.
I don't totally believe that's the meanest thing,
No.
but I'm willing to believe it's possible.
No.
Mary going, I agree.
Yeah.
God.
But Lisa spreads rumors. That's Lisa's thing, to spread rumors. She spreads rumors about people, their husbands, their partners.
I mean, I think
their
that's why it was so easy for her to like so easily flip the script onto Angie and be like, see, Angie, what if I would have said this about your husband? And it's like, you're doing the
By
exact same thing that Whitney just did to you.
I
she
heard that Sean does circle jerks. How does that feel?
Like, that's a crazy sentence.
Yeah, and it wasn't like an example. She was like, this is a rumor I've heard. Now, how do you feel?
Yeah, it wasn't like a what if like someone was like, I saw Sean at the grocery store.
She's
Yeah.
also,
Okay.
Whitney's just trying, like, I mean, also Whitney is playing very dirty, but she is trying to confess that, like, the terrible things that she said about you is about your marriage
That
And
is
spreading rumors.
Yeah.
and spreading rumors. Exactly. That's the game.
It was Heather's game.
It was Heather's game.
She
The-
played by the rules.
And yes, it
Also-
is very mean.
Angie's to Bronwyn was also about her marriage
Super
and
mean.
was
Oh my
also
God.
super mean.
The 1 foot in the grave, 1 foot
From
on a banana
peel.
peel.
Oh, she's
my
already
God.
crying.
No, yeah, that was really, really bad.
I felt so bad.
But the
And-
way that
but it
Bronwyn was able to be like, okay, like if this,
She
she's
took
like, you
it.
don't have to explain yourself. If that's how you felt in that moment, that's how you felt. Like, this is what this game is. We're squashing it. We're burning it. We're good.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't listen because her ears are stitched down to her face so tight she can't hear anything. She wears a hot dog outfit to remind us she sucked her way to the top.
Awful.
Like honestly, I would have been crying too if I read that
In-
about myself.
Justin,
I wouldn't have cried.
I mean,
what do you have to say?
She's a sniper with her words.
She is.
That's all I gotta say. I don't support it, but love her.
She is typing.
And-
She's like the Club Chalamet of
It was the
of
fact that Angie
housewives.
said, "Oh no, she's crying."
What
Or
was
she's
said
no,
crying
she's
already.
crying.
What was said about Mary?
About Mary.
Mary was Brittany.
Mary's
I would
Brittany.
like to invite Bronwyn over to tea instead of Mary tomorrow.
Okay. I am curious how Mary would have reacted to some real criticism.
same.
Maybe
Especially
mean-
coming from Brittany. 'Cause she
Yeah.
Or
can't
just
stand
anyone.
Brittany.
maybe it was intentional to because this is obviously produced. Maybe they kind of told the girls who to read about who, and
Well, clearly,
keep-
like, how do you even know the meanest thing you said, or how do you search that? You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like, how do you
You can search a name in your text, and then every text that has that person's name comes up in every conversation.
So I wonder if they if producers gave the women here's your person, search that in your phone.
And that's why Brittany
find
honestly is
something.
like, this is the meanest thing I've said about you.
Yeah.
And she's like, because the rest of it is on record in my videos.
If they would have given me Bronwyn,
Yeah.
guarantee there's some text messages in Brittany's phone about Bronwyn.
One thing I can't get out of my head, the earworm of Bronwyn's text to Brittany reading, Brittany is emotional manipulative. It is so funny. She's emotional manipulative.
That brought me back to Southern Charm, some of the misuse of words.
Yeah.
Intentionality. What
When Taylor was like, innuendo or a hidden innuendo. It's like a hidden agenda?
Yeah, that's
Also,
funny.
we're glossing over, Whitney reached out to Monica.
Which,
whatever. Oh, by the
come
way,
to find out.
to be clear, I'm not the podcaster
yes.
Yeah.
Let's
that they were
clarify that.
referring to.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure the podcaster they're referring to was the same person that Whitney was fighting with and Angie was fighting with at Kathy Hilton's Christmas party.
Yeah, I think it's from that original call where Whitney called in the car with Justin,
That's
and he said she owns a tequila company.
That's confirmed in the uncensored version on Peacock.
Correct.
That it's not us.
Yes, it is not. It's confirmed?
Yeah.
We watched the Peacock
What
version.
is- how is it
Uncensored. So it's a
confirmed?
live version that was confusing people because it was a shortened version of the blog conversation at the dinner.
And they kept calling him a podcaster.
And he's a blogger.
He's a blogger.
He's a Bravo blogger.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, so not
us.
Nick.
Yeah.
I do not conspire with these ladies.
But Whitney then called out Meredith for also talking to this blogger.
Which makes sense. I mean, it's like, how are you going to get mad at me for talking to him, but you did the same thing? It's like,
You reached out for confirmation. You got it. And now you're saying that his word is more than mine.
and Heather, thank God Heather is like, I can't believe you were talking to this person. Like, you have to stop talking to this person, block this person. Whitney, block this person. Like, them just being allowing these people to have access to you. Clearly, their agenda is to get clout and have their own storyline on their own platforms. And so it's like,
The more I watch this show, the more I feel like Monica really got thrown under the bus.
Oh, she absolutely
I've been
did.
saying that.
Yeah.
She's
Because I don't see any difference between Lisa Barlow and Monica.
When she said everybody was reaching out to Reality Von Teese.
Yeah.
So it's like they all had a part of it.
Like,
also,
yeah.
Whitney did tell us at Kathy Hilton's party, the reason that she reached out to Monica was because she heard Monica on this podcast say she had proof that all of these women had reached out to Reality Von Teese. So
She wanted the proof.
she wanted the proof.
She wanted
the timeline.
proofs, the
receipt.
Which
timeline.
does make
Yeah.
sense because she was like, and even Mary, I'm glad Mary kind of chimed in and stuck up for her, being like, you women are mean. And when y'all are mean, y'all are vicious, and you do put people in a corner to where they are like, holy fuck, what do I have to do to prove myself?
Right.
That's so true. I mean, again, Brittany shouldn't have been recording, but the way they if they're lions, they would have just destroyed her.
It's like mob mentality.
Oh my God, it's vicious.
Don't
It's-
show 1 ounce of weakness in this group or we attack.
One thing that also in all the drama did get looked over is Angie likes to call tits chicharrones or
Aren't
chichis.
those testicles?
Well, it's Mexican fried pork.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
Hmm.
I can't stop thinking about that. What is the best word for boobs?
I like titties. If you're asking me.
Tatas.
Tatas? Bazongas?
I'm just gonna reference early in the episode. Just gonna
Yeah.
bow out of
Nick's
this
like
one.
balloons.
Mm.
Balloon
Balloons.
emojis.
Baby bottles.
I don't have an opinion.
Mommy milker?
Also, Meredith at the top of the episode with the Louis Vuitton eye mask on.
Ugh.
She was such a mood.
Big
in
man.
that.
She's like, I woke up at 4 a.m. with a scratched cornea. Like, what
Which
were you
was,
doing
like,
at 4
fine
a.m.?
by the
Also-
end of the day.
The conversation with her and Heather of Heather being like, I don't understand why you were mad at me. And then Meredith being like, yeah, well, I was. And then Heather being like, well, okay. And then Meredith being like, I accept your apology.
Weirdos.
Who was the best
So
Lisa?
weird.
They ate Lisa lunch.
Phenomenal. Angie was the best Lisa for sure, in my opinion.
I think Whitney was the best Lisa.
Whitney just did that to piss her off.
I
And that's, and clearly it worked
Oh.
because she stood up,
Your
she
gut is
walked
off. It's
away.
leaking.
She was
Take a
like, I have to
probiotic."
let her see these tags hanging off my clothes.
And I didn't get it. I'm sorry. That was I think I feel like I'm always on it, and I just did not get it. I was like, oh my god, Whitney left her tag on.
I clocked the tags. I was like, is there a tag there?
Yeah.
But that's
Well, it's because
part of the bit.
Whitney was going to be the fakest, phoniest, cattiest, materialistic bitch she could be.
I love Whitney's willingness to stand up to Lisa.
I did love Lisa's line of "Your gut is off. It's leaking. Take a
Probiotic.
probiotic. It's
pretty
a
good.
mess.
You will never be as ethical as me.
Lisa has some great
bar.
She does have
lines.
bars.
She does.
That's why they call her Lisa Barlow.
Do you think she practices them?
No,
No.
I think they're off the cuff.
That's her.
Yeah, I think she's just that talented.
Lisa and Angie both do have bars.
They in the preview for the reunion, they bring the husbands.
They always do.
Yeah.
They didn't last.
They didn't last season.
this season.
For Salt Lake City. They always do.
Did they
Last
not?
season was the only season they didn't, but Salt Lake City every season they brought the husbands out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Usually because they're part of the storyline too. Yeah, like
Yeah.
Justin and Whitney. But
Because even like Mary, like that was the reason Mary's husband didn't come back, because it was like he didn't like the way they treated him.
Say what you want about Todd and Brawins. The fact that that guy shows up for the reunions, he must love her.
he does.
Because like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I don't know, he doesn't need this shit. Like,
No.
and it hasn't been great for him.
No.
So he's still showing up.
The moment between Angie and Mary, we need
Yeah.
to talk about, because I was so upset that Mary just like immediately switched up on her and was like,
Yeah.
Lisa, I'm done with Angie. Like, didn't even want to have a conversation with her, was just like, fuck this, I'm done. And then to like hear her open up at the table, like both of them crying. And it was like, you realized in that moment that when she like wasn't answering Angie was like, oh my God, like, wait, this means more. Like, our friendship means so much to me. And like, what, this
Yeah.
isn't just like a show, this is real life. And
She
it
said
was a really beautiful moment.
I didn't agree with Mary in that moment, but I appreciate her explanation and her vulnerability around, her abandonment issues. Because like, I'm glad that Angie went there, whether you like Brittany or not. Again, those women were vicious, and it's like bullying behavior that they like showed Brittany, and it was just fucking mean. And like, I think any decent person would go and just make sure that person is okay. Mary obviously has her issues with Brittany, but like, I'm glad that Mary at least explained where it came from. And it obviously was less about Brittany and more about just like, she really wants to be able, Mary needs to know who her ride and dies are. She needs to, she wants that absolute trust and loyalty. And it was an overall sweet moment.
Yeah. Said you changed my life for
You
the better.
changed
And I
my
was like,
life.
okay,
I
wicked.
see you differently than everyone else. I cried.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna
I got
lie.
a
I
little
shed a
teary.
tear. It made me emotional.
They said I love you.
Yeah.
Mary's
I was
made me
like,
cry, but she didn't make me cry this one.
Well, maybe at the reunion. Who knows?
yeah.
Well, that will wrap up this episode. A special thank you to our guests, Wells Adams and Michael Imperioli. We are back tomorrow with a very special Going Deeper episode. Excited to be bringing it to you. And then we are back on Thursday for another reality recap. We'll see you then. Bye. Hey guys, if you loved what you listened to, make sure you hit that subscribe button below. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.